Hey, it's time to get everyone together and get everything packed up. You ready to jam? Three, two, one. Let's jam. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. That's right. It's Monday. Dun 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 dun. Apparently, I'm trying to buy Minotaur semen by the uh, packs of 12. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I think that Cold Iron's oven is Justin from Toronto, who may still be mad at me for implying that I could be his dad. Which honestly, I guess I should be insulted about because it's like, why are you so mad that I could be your dad? It's like, I'm a good guy. I mean, right? If sometime back in the 80s I was visiting Canada and like happened into your mom in a bar and then things went, a little further out in the parking lot and like, I knocked her up and shit and then like didn't know about it and then eventually you were born, it's like, what are you mad about? I mean, you know, you could have a lot worse freaking people, impregnate your mom than me. Shit. I mean, oh my god, dog superhero over here. So, yep. A couple episodes into The Boys season 3, and I'm starting to seriously question like who's more effed up, Butcher or Homelander? Because they both seem to be pretty effed up. It's like I am realizing that that show is like an anti-hero show for sure. Like my wife and I, we're still enjoying the hell out of it, especially since they just introduced Soldier Boy. But part of me is just all like, can anyone be good? I mean, that would be interesting, right? If like there was a good superhero, but like no one's good. Everyone is stained black. You know what I'm saying? Everyone, even when they introduce a character and you think that character might be good, it turns out they're not good. They're horrible, horrible, horrible people. You know. So it's like, oh man. And I sense a little bit of like bullshit in it. Like, okay, Homelander is the main bad guy, and he also wears the American flag. And I'm starting to think that that is not a uh, the guy who wrote it. Now I'm basing this on what Bear says, but apparently the guy who wrote it, he's not a huge fan of superheroes. I'm starting to think he's not a huge fan of just the United States at all. And of course, now they've now that Stormfront has killed herself or whatever, and no, I'm not giving you spoilers for a show that's been out forever. Um, and all of a sudden, they're talking about how there's all these, white supremacists coming out of everywhere, and it's like, so in a way, some parts of the show are like a lefty's dream. White supremacists all over the place. The guy who represents the United States is actually a sociopathic killer, uh, etc. You know, Starlight wanted to pick the Muslim girl from England, which is kind of hilarious, really, if you think about it. The superhero from England that was competing to be on the Seven was a Muslim woman. It's like, oh God, England, what has happened to you? I guess they don't have a Captain UK or whatever, but they do have a Muslim woman representing the United Kingdom. But anyway, that doesn't matter. It's like, and Homelander was like, there will be no Muslims on the Seven. This is America. And it's like, okay, come on. Or ladies get it done. It's like, okay, come on, guys. This shit's just getting stupid now. The ladies get it done. Like, as if Homelander couldn't immediately squash all of those ladies, not even think about it, right? So it's like, what are the ladies actually getting done? Besides trying not to get murdered by Homelander the next time he flies into a psychotic rage. Because, I'll tell you what, I never thought I'd say this, but I find Homelander to actually be kind of a sympathetic character. Despite all of the blatant evil that he's done, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be absolutely punished for all the evil he's done. He should be, because, as they say, mercy for the cruel and the wicked is cruelty to the innocent, right? So Homelander definitely should be punished for all the horrible shit he has done. However, damn chat. James the Sigalite. Hey, what is up, Big James? Yeah, that's kind of the thing with Homelander. It's like he never chose to be the sociopathic monster that he is. And while I'm not saying he should not be held accountable for being the sociopathic monster that he is, I'm saying that, you made him, right? Vought made him. And then they thought they could mind F him and make him like so addicted to being loved and liked and stuff that would be their way to control him. But apparently that shit ain't working, because he is just like out of his damn tree, he's just doing all kinds of stuff. And I haven't got to the part where whatever happens with Maeve happens, but I have a feeling it's going to end in Maeve just getting killed by Homelander. And like I said, Homelander and Bill Butcher, they are a lot more similar than I think either one of them would like to admit. They're both definitely psychopaths in their own way, or sociopaths at least. And, full of hatred. It's just, for different reasons, right? Not that Bill Butcher doesn't have a great reason to hate Homelander. He's definitely got like a great reason to hate Homelander, but sometimes I'm like, dude, you are carrying shit a little far here, Because the thing with Bill Butcher, like Homelander, it's like he doesn't care who gets hurt. Yep, I agree with you, George. Yeah, last night I got to see the scene where I was watching with my wife after the live stream. And I got to see the scene where Starlight threatens to like release the footage of what happened on the airplane when they basically flew off and let everyone die. And Homelander's response was like, oh shit, Because he's just like, oh, you want to light this candle? You know what I mean? He's like he just tells her point blank, I'd rather be loved, but fear will do. And then he starts talking about how he'll destroy, the Pentagon, all of the infrastructure in the United States, and maybe New York. He'll wipe that off the earth just for fun, New York City. And, and she's just sitting there looking at him, and then he's like, oh, you don't want to release the tape anymore? No? You know what I mean? It's like he's just mocking her, like, oh, okay. That's what I thought. Hey, there's my brother.
Hello, my brother.
Brother.
Avenge me.
Huh?
Avenge me, brother.
Okay. I don't know how.
Me neither.
I mean,
I'm sure you'll figure it out, though. You're an intelligent young man.
An intelligent young what?
Man.
Oh.
Man, it's ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah, I was joking with Bear that if I ever joined the heroic game, I'd want to play a character called Superman. And like I'd look just like Superman, but every time somebody called me Superman or man or Mel or anything like that, I'd be like, it's man.
I'd make the Mighty Gamer from City of Heroes.
I remember that. I like Captain Underpants too.
Captain Underpants is pretty cool.
And Modest Mouse was nice. That was a good superhero.
The Mighty Flea was my favorite, though.
The Mighty Flea, yeah. I forget the name of my character. The one that just kind of flew around and threw fireballs at people's heads.
Mighty Flea, he fought hand to hand and he jumped.
Yep.
That was his thing.
City of Heroes was way too good of a game for it to die the way it did.
Yeah.
That makes me sad,
Bear still plays it.
He must have a private server or something.
No, the City of Heroes is still up and going.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I was thinking about checking it out.
Nobody told me. I mean, if it's still up and going and stuff, depending on the subscription price, I might look into that.
I think it's free.
Because it's like, that was the one game. Now, I don't know how it is now. It's probably sucks compared. But back in the day, City of Heroes had like the best group of players ever. Like, you remember on, what was it, Saturday nights, everybody would meet down at Hero Square, whatever it was called.
Yeah, and jam out, dance on the rooftops and stuff.
And there was like a group of people who were doing like a music thing, and you could request songs and shit like that.
Yep.
And just like listen to music and shit, and everybody'd hang out.
Let's play Vampire Life. Let's play Vampire LARP 2, The Thug Life. Wow.
Well, that's like in Whole, how it had the mini game. And in the mini game, it was all about getting your hands on the magic. And the wizards created the magic, and the thieves stole, and the fighters fight. And after you read the whole game, you realize that the magic is meth. So it's like, the wizards create the meth, and then the thieves and the fighters are out doing stuff to get the money so that they can buy the magic. It's like, yeah. That was edgelord shit. I think if I made a new City of Heroes character, I'd make a brawler, right?
Yeah.
But I would dress him up in like Orthodox priest robes. So I'd be walking around, dressed up in the black Orthodox priest, maybe even the schema, where it's got all the white designs on it, but I'd just be like whipping the shit out of people. Yeah. Like, call me Father Ass Whipping or something. I don't know. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
you
see.
can play it for free.
See what you think about that. Because if you ever visit, you're going to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I would let you pick which thing you want to play. So, yeah, you know. Master Staten Island. Be like a dollar store version of Dr. Manhattan. It's too bad you can't be a vampire. You could play as What We Do in the Shadows. Have like the Greek girl who can scream real loud and like the English guy that's, you know. Oh no, you would have to play what's his name? The bald guy with the glasses. What is his name? And the vampires let him hang out because he's a psychic vampire.
I'm not that bald.
No, I'm saying Colin Robinson. That's it, Colin Robinson. And he's just wearing like khaki pants and like a business shirt and his glasses. And he's a psychic vampire. So anyone he's around, he feeds off their negative energy and it makes him more powerful. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. He was pretty awesome. And then one time he died, but then his corpse burst open and a baby him popped out.
That's crazy.
And then the one guy, vampire, raised him. And like after like a couple months, he was Colin Robinson again. Because that's his immortality, is he just keeps being reborn out of his own corpse.
I've discovered the key to happiness.
Belief in Christ?
Well, that, but okay, I discovered how not to get mad anymore. I just assume that everybody out there is tarded. And you can't really get mad at a tarded person.
You shouldn't, because I mean they're tarded and they can't help it.
Yeah, they can't help it that they're tarded.
Plus, they're God's special people, and it's our job to protect the tarded.
So, I just assume that everybody's a tard.
Right. I mean, you know.
And it does no good to be mad at them.
Nope.
They're out there doing their best.
Yep.
Living their tarded life.
Yep. They speak the language of God. Well, actually, I think those are different kind of tarded people, but yeah. Like autistic people are considered, you know, children of God. And it's our job to protect them because they're pure.
Now, Japan has cured Down syndrome.
Blessed are the tarded, for they shall inherit the earth. That's probably true. But yeah, it's kind of an orthodox thing that you protect the autists and stuff like that, because they're considered to be basically sinless. And also some people say they literally speak the language of God, you know? So yeah, you're not supposed to let any bad things happen to them. It's literally like a part of the faith.
See, here's what I was telling you about.
There, look at that shine. Maybe his chapter badge could use a touch of gold. We don't make mistakes here, just opportunities for new armor trim. There, now we're just going to drop.
Is he painting a blood angel?
There, look at that shine. Maybe his chapter badge.
You see how he's dressed, though?
We don't make mistakes here, just opportunities.
He's dressed in red too.
We're just going to drop.
He's just like Mechanicus.
Look at that shine.
Is he Mechanicus or is he a armsman for the Blood Angels?
Might be an armsman for the Blood Angels. Disney got a new
Because
movie
you know
coming
how-
out.
Job. I've been practicing my salute all week.
He's got more heart than half the force. Sometimes that's all the city needs.
Officer Down.
First day on
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember, but there used to be a guy who literally had Down syndrome. And sometimes he would pull people over and like yell at them and shit.
Yeah. He's like, show me your boobies.
Yeah, that guy was pretty crazy.
Is like, you know why I pulled you over? Because I was speeding? No, because you're black.
No, because you're black. Yeah. No, because you're black. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, well, you know.
I'm supposed to hit you with this now. He pulls out his nightstick.
Can you not?
Yeah. Yeah. You paint any 30K nights, Georgie? Not yet. But in about 3 days, when my night army arrives, I will be painting it. I have been working on this. Let me move this because I do use this stuff. It's super cheaty. The panel liner stuff from Tamiya. Yeah, it's super cheap because then you can get some nice black lines around, you know, the panels. But that's a Warhound Titan that I'm working on. The base is white only because I'm going to give it a Templar white wash to make it look like, you know, marble or concrete. I decided to go with a yellow blue combo here, red eyes, of course. And I went with the missile launcher and the gigantic super melt-a-gun. I also have two of them I'm going to paint up as Chaos. And I haven't decided yet whether I'll go with like, you know, some kind of horse green kind of color scheme or just do the typical black. And well, I mean, I'd have to figure out which Chaos God they would serve. If it's Dark Mechanicum, then they would just be black, you know, since that's kind of black and bronze is kind of the Dark Mechanicum thing, which I do have a well over 2,000 point army of Dark Mechanicum. Angry Tabletop Nerd, how are you doing,
Yeah,
my
we
man?
got us an angry tabletop nerd on the
My man,
screen.
my man. Yeah, I have been working / not working because this isn't work. Like going out yesterday and installing a mailbox, and
Sure.
redoing all the gutter stuff and all that. That's work. This is fun times. But I have been doing a lot of fun times getting my various armies built. And as of yet, and I haven't spent that much money comparatively to any other hobby that's Games Workshop related. I have a Dark Mechanicum army that's almost 3K, a Mechanicum army that's over 2K, Adeptus Astartes, so my Blood Angels, that's well over 2K, and then Imperial Guard, well over 2K. And when the couple of boxes of Knights show up this week, I'll have a Knight household that will be over 2K. I can hit 3K with it if I just add a formation of Wolfhound Knights or Titans. I mean, a couple of Wolfhound Titans to it. But it's mostly Knight Questoris of the Castigator chassis. So I think that means chain sword and like laser devastator with missile pack on the roof. I'd have to double check it to be brutally honest. But the whole Knight army all together at over 2,000 points is going to be 13 figures. 13 figures. It's going to be 3 units of Knight Questoris and 2 units of Knights Prosephorus, which are like the big heavy knights with the dual twin freaking laser destroyers or whatever the hell they are. And that's pretty much the whole army. That is the whole army. Of course, one thing about this game that's kind of awesome is you can mix and match different armies. So, like, let's say you're playing Space Marines and you've got like a couple thousand points in Space Marines, but you want to play a 3,000 point army for some reason. There is absolutely nothing preventing you from throwing in a formation of Imperial Guardsmen or Titans or some Knights or basically every army in this game. Every army in this game can take every other army in this game as allies as long as you're either loyalists or traitors. No, Lunar Wolves started out as white, and then after Horus, it was the battle where they defeated the big orc warlord. The Emperor gave Horus the honor of renaming the Lunar Wolves to the Sons of Horus and repainting them. And Horus chose that kind of pale sea green as the color. And instead of the wolf head, he chose the eye of Horus. Now, this is made up shit, and Holy Diver can be all like, nah, I don't believe that. You're full of shit. And he might not be wrong. But I personally believe the Emperor chose Horus specifically to be the War Master because he knew Horus would fall to chaos. And he knew that Horus could be defeated. Had he made the obvious choice, which would have been Sanguinius or the Lion, there goes my brother's son.
Sam. No, that was Sam, not old Greg.
Oh, that was okay. Well, other stepson,
Basically,
adopted stepson.
Huh? My vape off. My bad.
But so Horus was picked specifically because the Emperor in his pressing Horus could be defeated. And he knew that if he had picked any of the other Primarchs, for the most part, to be the War Master, they would, just like Horus, eventually be corrupted, except, unlike Horus, they might not be able to be defeated, you know? Like, can you imagine if he had chose Sanguinius and then the Blood Angels went off and decided, you know, to become a bunch of corn worshipping bastards?
Yeah, if you would have chose
Sanguinius recruited all of his bros to help him out.
Yeah, if Sanguinius would have been the War Master and turned to chaos, that would have been the end for the Imperium of Man.
Yeah, that would have been the end of the Imperium right there. I mean, because the Emperor, one, Sanguinius was so charismatic, he would have recruited basically most of the Space Marine legions to follow him. I mean, you already know he's getting the 3rd Legion because Fulgrim had a man crush on Sanguinius.
Everybody had a man crush on Sanguinius.
Right. So you can't pick Sanguinius because that's a no-win situation. Lionel Johnson is powered by like Ultra or Dark Angel's autism.
No.
So you don't want to pick that bastard.
Everybody would have,
you know. And of course, he would never pick the Space Wolves because they were his personal
hitman
bitch boys. So he couldn't pick Space Wolves. He couldn't pick Dorn and his bunch of yellow bastards.
What? He doesn't like the Imperial Fist?
That's exactly what I'm saying. F those Imperial Fist bastards.
But you love the Black Crusaders.
Hell yeah, because Sigismund was right.
Yeah.
The Emperor is a god.
I think the Angry Marines are just hilarious.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks angry.
So anyway, that's the whole point.
They literally launch themselves
Yeah.
into combat so they can get into like
Hand-to-hand combat quicker. They shoot each other out of freaking.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, if they would have chose the Lion with his super autism powers,
yeah.
there's no way that the Imperium would.
Well, it would immediately cause the Civil War.
Yeah.
Because if they chose the Lion, then immediately you would have had the Lion and Gilliman at each other's throats since they hated each other.
Which I can understand why the Lion.
And
hates
then the
him.
Space Wolves would get involved and it'd just be a mess. You know what I mean?
What are you doing right now?
No, the Emperor did what the Emperor had to do. And that's I think a thing that people who play 40K and 30K, like me, I only play 30K, F40K. I've already sold most of my.
You are such a fucking hipster.
No.
When it was cool.
Yeah. No, I actually got in really late into 30K, so shut up. See, your army, if you played Space Marines, would be so easy to paint because I just painted all black.
Yeah.
My hands
Because Dark Angels wore black in 30K. So it
Yes,
just
they did.
a bunch of black armored Space Marines with red bolters and maybe some different colored shoulder pads, except all the Terminators would be bone colored.
Yep.
So, you know. And of course, my favorite chapter, I can't actually play in 30K.
Lamenters.
Yeah, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, they're
Who
they're-
also wear yellow, Home Skillet. Lion is Larry David. I could see it though. You know.
yeah. You can't play the Black Templars and 30K
when the
because
Emperor picked Horus, Sanguinius had to step up and basically stop a civil war right on the spot. Because, I mean, the Lion and a couple of other people were like, yeah, F that shit.
All right,
Oh, we got a bear.
Hello.
yours.
A great
have
big
fun
bear.
storming the castle.
I have good news, gentlemen.
What's your good news?
I'm just waiting for Shane to hand me in the colors on the back cover, and Valorous is fucking done, and I'm ready to publish.
That
Nice.
is good news indeed, sir.
Yes, indeedly do. I think $10 for PDF
Get
is
on
a
the
pretty
couch.
fair deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll see how much printing will cost based on, printing costs.
Yeah. I
Just,
sing the song to you that my wife sings to me sometimes.
oh god.
The other day, I saw a bear, a great big bear, a furry bear. The other day, I saw a bear. Right?
Please stop. Please never do that again.
If you go out in the woods today, you might see teddy bears at play.
Oh, man.
It's the teddy bears picnic. Hey, you're the one that said you'd pay $1 for a jar of frickin' bull semen. Yeah. Of course, I'm the one that's asking, can you buy that in packs of 12?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, Shadow got the worst of it.
Oh my god. No. Condor in the back got the worst of it.
It's the holiday today.
Well, actually, the guy in front of Condor in the back, I think, is getting the worst
National Anthem to this day.
of it. But whatever, you know. So whoever is doing all these memes about us is not a Condor fan.
No, well, I don't think they're not a fan, or I think they're just having fun. I haven't seen anything malicious or mean yet.
I think it's Justin because it matches his style.
You think that's Justin? No, whatever.
I think, well, he used to do memes, and they were very similar to that. And okay, this is weird. Oh no, this isn't weird yet. Never
As
mind.
I've always said about Justin, if he can get his fucking anti-Semitism out of his head and get his thought
Well, if
process,
it is Justin,
he'd be a good guy. He has that little problem.
that's fine. But I have to say to him that I'm a little insulted because he got mad that I implied that I could be his dad. And I'm like, what are you mad about? I'm pretty fucking awesome. You'd be lucky to have me as your dad. I mean, really.
Like I said, if he got over his little fucking whatever it is that makes him hate the Jews so much, he'd be a really nice guy. He'd be a chill guy to hang out with. But he's just a little too obsessive about that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like you said, did Mossad steal your bike when you were a kid? You remember that when you said that to him?
Yeah, they stole his bike when he was a kid.
So
Like the
mean.
Mossad broke in and stole his shit. So he just never got over it, you know?
Clearly.
Okay,
Okay, you go, man.
I just opened this. I've had this for like a month, but it's the you can't see really too good, but it's the mechanical Batum Force.
Nice. How you doing, Hungar?
What?
How the fuck are you?
I'm good. How are you, Bear?
We're supposed to lose our vision and our feet, not our hearing, you fucking idiot. Do your diabetes right.
Do your diabetes. Yeah. All right.
I do what I want.
I do what I want. I'm Hungar. I don't care what you want. I do what I want.
Whatever. I do what I want.
Fucking Hungar.
Basically, you are the living incarnation of Cartman.
I'm not.
Seriously.
I'm big bone.
I'm big boned.
Seriously.
So yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday. I just ate like a ton of curried everything. And all of that curried everything mixed in my guts and created like
The devil.
bad stuff.
Well, that's what happens when you eat curried everything.
Yeah, the problem though is I love curried everything.
Clearly it doesn't love you.
Like even when I make like pretty much anything, I have my curry and my tikka masala in my spice cabinet, and I like go nuts. You know what I'm saying? Because
What
it
up,
turns
Chapo?
out that I like flavor,
Don't be an asshole. Don't like
but
sweets.
sometimes you can overboard it.
Yes, you can.
And if you overboard it, then you get, as my brother calls it, the screaming memes.
The screaming memes.
Yeah.
Or
See,
as
I
I
don't
like to
call
call
it
them, the screamies.
I don't call it screaming memes. I call it the monkey claw. Because it feels like a monkey's trying to claw its way out of your butt. Hey, there's Shadow, the guy who apparently knows what Minotaur semen tastes like.
Wow. Just wow.
That's what the meme said. It has Shadow saying.
Yeah, it doesn't. You just the way you do it sometimes. It's so mean.
Like the meme is like Shadow's just sitting there like in deep thought, and he's like chunky, something, a little musky, and it's just like what? And then yes, if you zoom way in on the meme, you can see Hungar having, or not Hungar, Condor having gay sex with somebody like on the produce. It's like, okay, so.
What
The guy
shaking?
has to be watching a lot of my videos to know enough to make the memes.
Yeah.
So I should be
Yourself.
happy that I've got a fan, at least
You
one.
should.
Shadow wants to know what's shaking. I always say it's Michael J. Fox.
Man. I mean, it's
Well,
hilarious, but still, man.
That is hilarious, Hunter, and I've got a new one for you, which is whenever someone asks you a question moving forward, say, as they say in London, inshallah.
Inshallah.
There you go.
And like what they
See
say
that?
in Paris, Assalamu alaikum.
Exactly. They got two. You can mix it up. You can defend the French and the English at the same time. Look at you.
Oh, we were talking about the boys, how like Homelander refused to allow the Muslim from Birmingham to be on the 7. And then, Stormfront's dead, and Homelander's not handling it very well, And what else happened? Oh, one of the coolest scenes was Starlight threatened to unleash some shit on him. And instead of backing down, he's like, let's get this candle lit. And then he goes into detail about how he's going to destroy the entire United States. You know, and he's like, you know, I'd rather be loved, but hate will work too, you know? And of course, Starlight backs down because she realizes she effed up. That this is not that Homelander is not the guy, you know. Which I've learned, Bear, the more I watch the show, Homelander and Bill Butcher are basically the same character.
Yes, they are.
And Homelander is kind of a sympathetic asshole.
Well, yes and no, right? Like he's more than an asshole. He's a homicidal psychopath.
Well, yeah, he's sociopath. Yeah, he's
He's a psychopath. You'll see, it gets worse. He's a psychopath. Sociopaths don't know, right? Sociopaths don't feel emotion. Sociopaths just do. He feels emotion, and his anger always manifests as murder. So he's a psychopath.
I feel sorry for the Deep.
For who?
The Deep.
Why do you feel sorry for that guy? He's such a cunt.
Exactly. He's just like, he can't help how he is.
There is no one in that entire show except maybe the little kid to feel sorry for.
The Deep with his love affair with his dolphin friend.
Oh my God!
That
Yeah.
fucking scene
Also,
is so
when
brutal.
he pulled the whale up, thinking he would stop him, and they just drove a boat through the frickin' well.
Now it's a dolphin. Oh yeah, no, the whale. Yeah, that was the whale. Yeah.
And then they made him eat the octopus that was watching him bang his wife.
Did you catch who was voicing the octopus?
The octopus was frickin' no. Who was it?
It's what's her name? The skinny fucking British chick who was in Doctor Strange as the Ancient One.
Oh, really?
Oh, what was that actress's name? Fuck.
I know who you're talking about. She was Gabriel.
She looks like, yeah. She was in Constantine. Yeah.
She was
She
in
looks like
Constantine.
fucking David Bowie, man.
She does. She's hard to kind of pin.
Shadow,
Like
you need
sometimes
to
you
look.
see her all done up for like a fair, and you're like, yeah, she's kind of pretty. And then other
Oh, yeah.
times you see her, and you're like, is she an alien?
Yeah, what the fuck's going on?
Like, what's going on with this chick? I don't even know.
Shadow, you need to look on James's Discord server.
Or
in
not.
The meme section, you will see the memes.
Oh, yeah. I think, Shadow, you caught the worst of it. No, again, the guy getting buggered by Condor.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
He's caught the worst of it, but whoever the guy is, he watches our channel, though. That is a fact. He watches my channel. He watches your channels. He's watching channels. He watches Double D because, you know, Double D makes appearances, which I watched a little Double D last night before I went to bed. He was making houses for his D&D game.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
But yeah, they made him mukbang the octopus, so he had to eat it live, and it was praying and shit like that. And Homelander's just sitting there watching him. It's like, and that's the scary thing. Like, if you're in a room alone with Homelander, you're like, am I getting ready to die? Because, you know, that does happen. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like the show, they were writing a metaphor for crazy people in Hollywood, then decided, yeah, of course they had to. The thing about the show, and I've managed to overlook most of it, is there's no doubt the political leanings of the show writers and maybe even the guy who wrote the series. I mean, they're obviously super left-wing idiots, and so they obviously have their slant. If it were not for the amazing acting of my boy Carl Urban, actually, and the guy who played, actually all of them, they're all great actors, really. I might have gotten bored of it by now and been like, chalked it up to another, leftist propaganda bullshit. But, I have to admit, I've gotten too into the story. So I've started kind of ignoring the bullshit that they keep trying to slide in and just enjoying the story, it is not a coincidence that Homelander wears an American flag. That is not a coincidence. And it's because the people who write the show basically hate America. Because, they're Hollywood leftists, and that's kind of what they do. And yes, the bashing on Christianity, which, sometimes deserved, sometimes not. It's like I said, somebody in chat was like making fun of Catholic priests and their abuse of children. And I was like, more children have been abused by public school teachers.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but no one complains about that because, they want your kids in public schools. So
people complain about that all the time. Don't act like no one goes after school teachers for the bullshit
They
they
do.
do. They're now going after the female teachers on top of what they never used to do. Because they used to take the attitude, well, why is the guy upset? He got fucked. Now they're like, well, it's child abuse because the mother started complaining.
well,
and here's
they
the other
did
big
have that one
difference.
Florida teacher that banged some
Hang on.
dudes, and then
Here's-
they didn't put her in jail because she was too pretty.
Well, it happens once in a blue moon. But here's the other one you got to remember. The school board,
Or
Shadow's here, by
South
the way.
Park. Nice.
Shadow's here. The school board doesn't have the power and/or ability like what's its name?
The Catholic Church.
Vatican to hide people like they did. That was what made it.
That is the issue, but it doesn't take away from the fact that little kids are being molested. The
Which is
Catholic
not a-
Church, however, chose to
Not
try and
close.
hide them and send them all to different dioceses, and that makes them look like really, really horrible. I agree with you there. But let's not act like priests are the only ones out there doing horrible shit.
No one's saying they are. No one is saying this.
Actually, Huey said it in an episode last night.
Well, that's a TV show and not reality.
Are you sure?
1,000,000%.
Bear. I'm going to fuck with you, Bear.
Don't do it.
I'm going to.
But no for me.
I'm going to say not only could we invade Canada and conquer it, but those guys that run into the weeds trying to hide, they're going to encounter our special forces and rangers who will immediately and promptly curb stomp the shit out of them. Because we're even better at that. How you feel about that, Bear?
Okay.
I'm messing. I don't actually care either way.
All good.
Don't poke the bear. That's what my wife says. And then
I'm pretty sure our friend OGG would be one of the few that we'd have to worry about.
Doing what?
Oh, if we ever invaded,
You'd never find him.
right?
It'd be like 50 years after the invasion, everything's calmed down, and they just find his camp in the middle of the woods. Like
and
somewhere.
he's what, 100 years old?
He's like 100. He's been living off of freaking polar bear fat or something. And he's all like, hey, it turns out that eating polar bear extends your lifespan. Or
Yeah,
something. Be like,
yeah. That would doesn't kill you, makes you immortal.
yeah, I guess, No, he sent me a thing this morning. Apparently, him and I were not friends on Discord. And he sent me a message like, how are we not friends on Discord? And I'm like, we are now, click. What I mean?
He's
Like,
great. He's in 3 of the games I'm in every week. He's the guy can get pretty intense, and when he's in his cups, all bets are off.
OGGM's great. I was on
OGG, not OGGM. OGGM is okay. He's fun, but he's not. I don't consider
or
him.
OGG, the Canadian guy that hides in the woods.
Right.
I was on Bloodworks thing last night with Ducato.
I wanted to be there, but I had a game and I finally got it all together, so I really couldn't do it. I'm gonna watch it because I'm actually kind of a fan of Vancian Magic. I know that nobody else is, but you know
Bear
that
would be
or
so proud of
and
me.
it's just
I was
it
on
works.
Bloodworks show for like hours, and
Yeah, I saw
did
that.
not
It looked like it
derail
was a good
anything
show.
ever. I stayed
I
on
just-
topic, and
we all
we
know how
talked
rare
about
that is.
magic. And well, ultimately, you've got two choices. You've got magic powered by mana,
Mhm.
or Vancian Magic. That's it.
There's
really
a third
no
option
third
that
option
Bloodworth
out
actually
there.
use. The third
Huh?
option Bloodworth actually uses is if you make your skill roll, you still have the spell and the spell works. If you roll a fumble, you lose the spell for the rest of the day. And I find that too easily. What's the word I'm looking for? Exploitable.
Yeah, well, we had a long discussion about invisibility. It turns out I'm a hard ass when it comes to invisibility.
As one should be.
Because in my game, if you do anything other than move at your normal speed, you break invisibility. If you turn a doorknob, you pick a rock up, you sneeze, whatever. And also in my game, if you're fighting, say, Goblin Wolf Riders, those wolves know exactly where your invisible ass is.
Oh yeah, the sense of smell in animals is so underrated. The guy he kicked did not understand that something with an olfactory ability of like a boar is
That came up.
literally almost unimaginable to us. You know, we think we have a good sense of smell, but no, we don't. We put up with each other.
Well, I
Therefore,
had to bring up the fact that they use pigs to find truffles.
yeah.
So, I mean, if
20
you
feet deep, they can find them.
I mean, a pig can find truffles. If a pig can find truffles in a French forest, it damn sure can smell your sweaty mage ass. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Which is
I
another
mean-
thing. Go ahead, Bear.
Go ahead, Bear. I think Bear's ignoring us. He's like,
We might be having technical difficulty. It was something I was
he's
bringing
like,
up.
James has went too far.
No, I was eating my fucking lunch and trying to supper and trying to be respectful of you gentlemen by not chomping in your ears.
Oh well,
Ah,
I mean,
You couldn't see
the
that.
only person who
I know you couldn't see
that
because
is Max
watch
Out.
me eating either. Fuck.
And I get that, but we had literally no foreknowledge that you were doing.
Because you guys are back on the fucking topic of D&D invisibility again. I had zero interest in having this conversation one more time.
Well, in my game, it's just not as good as apparently some people think it should be.
Well, some people are fucking retarded, and that's just what we accept in life. I agree with you, James. Your interpretation of invisibility, I'm 100% on board with you.
You know what? Your approval actually does mean something to me.
I'm a little
Shit.
more lenient. There's a few more things I'd allow people to do invisibly. Run, fly if they can fly.
Sodomize, we know.
Rub
We're
one
aware.
off in the corner.
No, that's wrong. That's absolutely freaking disgusting and wrong.
Yeah, okay. Methinks she
The
does
question
protest too much, ma'am.
The question
and
is, Bear,
that's something
not
that's
Bear.
definitely going to be. You may not be able to see every motion of the ocean, but you're going to have a pretty damn good idea
Every
what's going on.
motion of the ocean.
My question, which is not Bear, because I
If
trust
someone's getting
Bear.
in or railed from behind, I think everybody around is going to know what's going on.
Yeah, or they're going to go,
Maybe
"That's a
not.
weird
You can
dude.
do that
That's a
shit
really
very
weird
quickly."
guy. Has he been reading that book about milking minotaurs again?
I'm just wondering if in his homebrew setting, there's going to be a Morning Glory milk farm somewhere.
In whose homebrew setting?
Shadows.
No,
Wow.
no, God, no.
Like the adventurers are traveling down the road and they come up on a town, and just outside the town is a farm, and
No,
Just
that's
outside
never
they
going
see
to
farm
happen.
is a
minotaurs in
girl.
the town, and they're like, "What the f is up with all these minotaurs?" And then if
First
they're
of
my
all-
players, they fireball everything and loot everyone, you know, and then go on down the road. But you know, other players might actually want to solve a series like that and figure it out. not mine. Mine
No,
believe
no.
everything can be settled by fireball.
It's
Or
nap time, guys.
Or battle axes.
All right, well, you enjoy nap o'clock there, Hunger.
Yeah, it looked like you were fading pretty hard.
He just
Can't say
ate
I believe you.
some freaking hot wings. He needs to wake the F up, this guy.
Oh, do you just have hot wings, you bitch?
He did.
Oh, fuck you then.
Unbreaded, though. So, that's
Well,
the
that's a
best
step in
kind.
the right direction. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbreaded with some light blue cheese dressing.
That's not good. Blue cheese is not good.
I love
Yeah,
blue
I don't-
cheese.
I don't
See,
see
here's the thing. Blue cheese is good. It's just not
Nice.
healthy.
It's delicious. It's
It is
absolutely
absolutely
delicious.
delicious. It's just not,
But it's
not,
not a good
Gorgonzola.
choice.
Gorgonzola is my favorite cheese.
I think that, and my wife buys it for me. I like the starts
You-
with Gouda.
I
You
love it.
eat a lot of
Nice
Gouda,
smoked Gouda. A nice smoked
Smoked
Gouda. is
Gouda.
Delicious cheese.
and James also eats a lot of Havarti.
Havarti is amazing.
I thought you said her body for a second there. I was like, hey, hold on now. Calm down.
I don't even know that asshole.
It's like, look,
Yikes.
man, you're
Yeah,
getting
I'm
a
a
little personal.
sharp cheddar guy. I know, boring, but
No, sharp cheddars are nice. Like a really
Oh,
good
no, man.
old.
I mean,
Oh,
So in
I
Canada,
love
we don't call it
cheddar
sharp.
cheese.
We call it old. In Canada, we call them old cheddar. You get like an extra old cheddar, stinks. Like just stinks when you open it up, but it tastes so good.
and for some reason, like whenever I find a good white sharp cheddar, it's like leaps and bounds better than the traditional orange.
so we're
Well, the
talking
orange
about
is colored. They don't. It's normally a white. Cheddars are normally white. They color it to make it orange.
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm not opposed to the cheese situation because there could be female minotaurs at the Morning Glory Milk Farm.
Oh, dear God.
What I want to know is why do cheese
We've gotten
companies,
animal.
why do
Lord.
cheese companies even bother advertising? Because we gonna buy cheese.
Amen.
And because it alters your brain and makes you addicted. I got
Because it puts an addictive chemical in it that makes you crave it fortnightly, smartards.
Why did my brother leave? Asshole.
Because he needs to sleep off that meal.
So anyway, do minotaurs have breasts like humans, or do they have udders like cows?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pretty sure I don't want to know the answer.
I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking you, Shaq.
I
figured you were allowed
refuse
to
to
know.
But I know-
answer.
All I could say is that from all the artwork we've seen, which is too much, it looks like they're entirely male, except for the hooves and the head. I mean, human, except for the hooves and the head.
So you understand that they're singular, right? There is no multiples of Minotaur. This is like something people have done. In actual mythology, there is one single fucking Minotaur
Certainly.
that is a curse by the Greek gods. It's not a naturally
Yeah.
occurring creature.
Now, we could probably blame Gary and his ilk for turning them into a whole species, but apparently, even back during the Greek era, there were people milking minotaurs and getting impregnated by them, and thus you have a whole race.
I don't know about all that, but I do know in Dragonlance there was an island north of the main continent that was ruled by minotaurs.
Yes, there was, and they were good seamen.
The same thing with the
Unintended.
Medusa. They did the same thing.
Yeah,
with
they were good
Hydra.
seamen.
Pretty
Well,
much
they were sailors.
every-
I'll give
every
you that.
Greek mythological creature got, expanded. There was only one Medusa. There was only one rock. There was only one.
Well, Medusa was one of the three Gorgons, right? The three sisters.
Yeah, there were Gorgon,
Okay.
and there were multiple rocks because you'll remember Sinbad went to the valley that was full of
Sinbad
diamonds.
is not Greek mythology.
But I think rocks aren't either. I think rocks are Arabic.
Are they?
And he would throw a hunk of meat down, and then you wait for the rock to grab the hunk of meat. And when the rock leaves its nest, you go and pull the diamonds out of the hunk of meat. But then Sinbad got chucked down in the valley. So what he did is he tied himself to a big hunk of meat and then rolled over so that the meat was on top, so that when the rock grabbed it, it lifted him out of the valley into its nest. And then he grabbed a pocket full of diamonds and took off.
Yeah, Bruce.
What movie was that?
That was from the book Scheherazade and 1001
Okay,
Arabian Nights. The dirty version, because of course the one I had was practically porn.
Yeah, it's a pretty messed up book. What's up, Bruce?
Yeah, those ancient whoever wrote that, they were not afraid to get into some wild shit.
Your discussion is utterly ridiculous.
Utter.
Your fucking pun is insane.
Like there's one where this Persian prince goes into a garden and he sees a Persian man who's stoned from the waist down. And it turns out that the man had married a witch and she'd been having an affair with one of her gigantic Mandingo black servants, slaves, etc. And so the man tried to put an end to that shit, but the woman turned him into stone from the waist down and then would make love to the black slave and make him watch. So the man begs the Persian traveler to lay in wait, and when the witch and her lover show up, to kill them, which he does. But it gets into a little detail about him, splitting her in half like a freaking, dried piece of oak log. And it's like, wow, these Arabs were freaking a little bit nuts back in the day, boy. They were doing some shit.
A little bit horny? You mean like how everything around the entire faith of the is about getting virgins in heaven and fucking? Like, gee, it's so strange what happens when you repress people's access to sex for a long time. They go a little fucking crazy.
Not any virgins. I'm sorry. That's such a boring fucking trope. Like, no wonder these people are fucking each other's sisters and brothers and cousins.
Yeah, I gotta disagree there, Bruce.
I'm not sorry. I would much rather have a complete practiced slut in bed.
Yeah, well,
That's where hypergamy comes from or leads to. And no thanks. I'd rather have loyalty over
hypergamy. That's a big word for you, Shadow. Hypergamy.
Happy Oktoberfest.
Yeah, there's no woman that can't
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, or as I like to call it, actual Thanksgiving.
Roast.
So what are you thankful for, Bear?
Well, I wouldn't say you assholes, but
So how's your
Oh,
Valorous?
it's also opposite day. Okay, awesome.
How's your Valorous game going on there, Bear?
I'm doing page numbering right now. I'm waiting on the cover so I can finish. It's done.
I don't worry about your book. I mean, like your table. How's the actual players, the campaign? How's that going?
Hasn't started yet.
Oh, sorry, dude.
No, we mean sorry. I haven't started yet.
I thought you had already started.
No, God, no. Okay, why the fuck did? Fuck you, Adobe.
Adobe's your friend. Why would
So you did play test it, right, Bear?
Dude, come on. I've been working on this for literally since 2009.
Okay.
It uses the exact same. Oh my fucking Christ!
Of the Commonwealth nations, Canada is kind of the one that failed the hardest at wiping out its indigenous people.
I mean, there is
Shadow.
Yeah.
Do you understand that Valorous pretty much uses almost the exact same system as Hero?
That doesn't always translate as a 1-to-1.
Okay, well, I'll just go back to my box where I know nothing about writing games, and I'll let you hipster your way through and tell me I'm wrong.
No, I've seen it before.
It's fucking good. Leave it alone. Don't be the negative bitch that you like to be sometimes. Let it go and be positive. Try being positive. You can do it, Shadow.
I only recently heard about it, so when I heard your,
What, you only recently heard about positivity? Well, it's this amazing thing when you look into it.
God, no, your game.
It wasn't something he was born with.
Yeah, I've never, I've only recently heard about that particular game, and I do have some experience with editing and play testing, and a company that I'm working with did not play test a game, but used its other engine, and there were issues.
Okay.
It doesn't always translate.
That's why this is called the playtest edition. So it gets sold.
Okay.
Playtest the fuck out of it. And then eventually when I have money, I'll do a better edition with all the notes from playtesting.
Okay. Also the playtest edition is also news to me.
Well, it's because you don't talk to me, Shadow. You just leave me alone.
You guys
Forgotten friend.
arguing like a married
Oh,
couple.
dear God, you know that's so.
You guys argue like me and Janet.
I know, right?
Oh my
Okay.
God, that's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I'm thankful for. This fucking conversation ending. That's what I'm thankful for.
I had to, on one of my videos, I had to pick out some movies I think you should watch, Bruce.
Cheers, Bear.
Nah, no worries, brother. I'm just fucking.
Give me 3 movies there, James.
Well, I can only give you 2. One of them is Six String Samurai, and the other one is Radioactive Dreams.
Radioactive Dreams is actually really good. That's the one that's like the atomic future. It's all sort of what the fuck's the word I'm looking for? Like film noir type stuff.
Yeah.
It's from Canon Films. It's got Michael Dudikoff, but he's really cool in it. Like I'm amazed at how cool he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I didn't know you knew that one.
Oh, I love that movie. And
Oh,
a
yeah.
little thing I learned later from my wife who looked into it, it was the inspiration for Fallout.
I believe it.
I mean, it is like some guys trapped in a freaking bomb shelter break out, and now they're in the effed up world, you know?
Yeah.
Full of mutants and every other thing. And
And
it's
they
like,
think they're detectives because their dad was a big fan of old film noir stuff.
yeah, they think that they're literally, one of them calls himself Philip and the other one is Marlowe.
That's their names. That's their actual names.
That's their names because they grew up 20 years in the shelter just reading old, noir detective stories.
Nicky Spillane, things like that. I
Yeah,
can see it.
Like the Jade Falcon or whatever. And so, and there's a lot of communication issues, like, because they're like, we're a couple of dicks, man. And the late people outside will be like, you sure are, because they're thinking dick, private eye,
Yep. There were a lot of those jokes back in the day when I was in that field.
Well,
There's a lot of dick jokes when you were in the field.
When I was working with in the PI biz,
When you were working out in the field with dicks, there was a lot of dick jokes. I'm shocked. I know.
there is no
Poor
field
Chad.
of dicks.
Field of Dicks. I've seen that movie. It's your best work, Shadow. Field of Dicks.
I have a Field of Fuck.
If you rub it, they will come.
There's other
have
things you can do to
thoughts, but you're
achieve that eventuality as well. I've actually been deep diving into some old 60s sci-fi TV and movies like Planet of the Vampires. What was the other one I wanted to see?
Yeah, these are shows you never would have heard of, but they're cool.
Invaders, things like that. That you never hear anybody talk about anymore. Did you guys ever see Colossus: The Forbin Project?
Amazing movie. Nobody talks about that, and they should, because that movie is semi-prophetic.
Yeah, there's actually a trilogy of books for it, but I haven't gotten to the second and third. The movie was good. It was really good. It's kind of scary.
Masters.
Yeah, by Heinlein.
Plus,
Yeah,
it has my boy in it, Sutherland.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I prefer the original black and white. Honestly.
Oh my God! Of course you do.
Of course you do. Why wouldn't you?
With Leonard
It's
Nimoy.
it's spookier.
It
is.
You're a hipster. It's because you're a hipster. Just say, I'm a hipster.
Hey, would you like?
Wait, which one has Leonard Nimoy in it?
I just think it's better.
I think
Okay, that's
Leonard
fine.
Nimoy's in the
But
Sutherland.
I'm probably the only person who still watches the Twilight Zone.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers? Sutherland is the one that has Nimoy in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's
I-
the
I-
one
They're both,
very
listen,
end.
they're both very good movies for what they are. The black and white original is Communist Panic. I think, there's a red under every bed type thing.
Sure.
That's what it's all about. It's really scary and it's well done. And the 70s one is about the fucking dehumanization of humanity and the collective mentality of people just all going along to get along, which one played out? Both.
Yeah.
Because we're living through both of them together right now.
Yep, we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like why I know it's not exactly related, but why would anybody voluntarily move into a home ownership association neighborhood? Just No.
I'll give you a reason why.
Your mommy and daddy didn't love them enough?
On the the east side of San Antonio, there's about 7 developments that are advertising houses from 190 to 240,000, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, or 2-bedroom, 2-bath. No yard. You don't get a yard, but you have a house, and you have like 3 foot between your house and the neighbor's house.
Oh, nice.
All of them have an HOA. Whereas if you will drive about 4,000 feet to the east and go past the county line, you have country homes that have acreage, more than 1 acre, and a house, either traditionally built or a manufactured home, which is conventionally very, very cheap, very much cheaper, but you have no HOA over there. Now, a lot of people don't want to live in the country because a lot of guys with money moved out there and they took their big trucks, their tractors, every piece of heavy equipment, and the yards are piled up with Holt or Caterpillar or Husqvarna equipment. They've got a Peterbilt or a Kenworth. They've got like 6 or 7 vehicles in them. And that's why you have those guys out there, because they have a place for their stuff. It's not sheltered, but it's what they can afford at the moment. A lot of people don't have that equipment, and they don't have the money to move out in the country because the country homes with the acreage cost about $400,000 to $600,000. It's crazy. Just a regular house or even a fucking pre-built manufactured home, $300,000. Fuck off.
Dude, I live in California, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, booking at $600K with a very minimal amount of yardage.
Do you have an HOA?
No.
Well, that's good.
After you left last night, Bear, I played how Red Hot Chili Peppers sounds to everybody who doesn't like them.
I love that fucking bit.
I love that. Stubbed my toe on a buffalo slow, some shit, and it's just did I mention California? It's just like that's all it is, man. I remember when Red Hot Chili Peppers were cool, and then
I don't.
And then they weren't. Blood Sugar Sex Magic was pretty good.
Wasn't that 94?
Yeah, that was
94,
early
92, somewhere on there.
Yeah, early 90s. That was before they decided every song was going to be about California.
And heroin.
And heroin, yeah. And whichever album Give It Away was on was pretty good.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Yeah.
Down. And then, of course, one of the best rap songs ever is only one of the best rap songs ever because Flea was the bassist. And that would be Bust a Move by Young MC. Yep, that's Flea wearing his old pants that were made up of like just stuffed animals all stitched together.
She's dressed in yellow. She says hello. Come sit next to me, you fine fellow.
Yeah, that was the shit right there. Just bust a move. Apparently, Young MC was like related to somebody in the industry already.
Tone Loc.
But I don't care. That was a good song.
Tone Loc. I believe Tone Loc was his uncle or something.
Yeah. That was a good song, and he had freaking Flea hammering the bass the whole time, and it was a good song. Flea's in the video in the wedding scene, you know, when they're like, and that's one more girl you won't be getting. And then Flea and the bride run off together and leave the green. Like, uh-oh. See, that was when Chili Peppers were fun, you know? And then every song become, I'm in California doing heroin under a bridge. And, yeah, Blast from the Past, Brendan Fraser. That is a good
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Sissy
that is a good movie.
Sissy Spacek sells that movie so hard.
No, somebody's ringing my doorbell. I better go get it because I think my wife is working.
And there's no mail delivery, so it's probably not a package, dude.
Yeah. There.
I have a new magnifying light coming in today.
Amazon or something like that.
Amazon. Watching the tracking on another tab.
Nice.
Bear.
Yes.
All right, Shadow. I'm going to take you back to the early 80s, late 70s. What is your favorite film
That's
with
right.
Jennifer Agutter?
That's how you got to be silent and compliant.
I have no idea who that is.
She's in the movie Logan's Run. She's in the movie Scanners. She's in the movie American Werewolf in London.
Okay, thank you, baby. Logan Run, is she the one that's like runs with him and also shows off her boobies a lot?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
go
that
look
chick
for-
shows her boobies off in every film.
Yeah, she shows them in Werewolf in London too.
Yeah, it's like she cannot wait to show her tits off.
and I cannot wait to see him again.
They were nice.
Yeah, she was like 19 in Logan's Run.
Something like that, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I was watching that movie. I think it was about a year ago, and growing up when I first watched it the first couple of times, it didn't really dawn on me just how freaking skimpy the women's outfits were. It's like,
What, you never
holy
watched
shit, there is
Star Trek
nothing to
growing
that,
up?
is there?
None. Nothing at all.
I mean, Star Trek, literally,
panties,
one
nothing.
of those
Just-
girls
just
has been
a-
over. You'd
just
have
a
been
piece
able
of
to see
tissue.
right up her intestines. Well, I guess they were wearing tights too, right?
Not
sometimes-
Logan's Run.
No,
And-
not Logan's Run. Yeah,
And
and you can
Logan's
tell she was young because of one, she's young, and two, in the movie she's young because her color was like green,
mhm,
and green was all the youngest people in
the youngest adults.
and then it went up to red.
I thought I remember seeing a lot of orange
Yeah, you remember wrong.
or pink.
Yeah, still wrong. It was primary colors. It was like red, blue. Nope, green. There was green. And then what was the other color? There was 3 colors or 4 colors.
She's
And
also
red was the one that let everyone know you were just about done.
she's in American Werewolf in London, and then she's in The Eagle Has Landed.
Great movie, American Werewolf in London.
I like
It's
The
kind of hard
Eagle.
to believe, if I remember correctly, that the guy that did American Werewolf in London also did Ghostbusters.
I don't know if
No.
Or was it
Pink
Blues
was-
Brothers?
Pink was actually pink and red were the other colors.
the guy that
Pink
did American
and
Werewolf.
red. Okay.
When Ghostbusters came out, he was in the middle of fighting for his life because he was in courtrooms until Steven Spielberg came in with millions of
As was
dollars,
yellow.
made the accident go away.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about Landis.
Yeah, you're thinking about John Landis. He was on trial in '84 for all the shit that went on with the death of Vic Morrow.
Yeah, but I also think that he might have been in charge of the Blues Brothers.
Landis was in Blues
Well-
Brothers. He was also the head for director for Animal House.
Yeah. So he transitioned from the Blues Brothers to Werewolf in London pretty well, I guess.
Yeah.
But I always thought Werewolf in London was like a comedy.
Yeah, it kind of came across that way.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a dark comedy to be sure, but it's comical,
Yeah, I've always seen that movie maybe once or twice. It really didn't grab me as much as some other movies.
Yeah. I'm sure we've never heard of those other movies, though.
That's possible. I mean, I give you guys the benefit of the doubt.
You know, like Zombie Queens from Cleopatra or something. Yeah, never heard of that. But from what Shadow says, it's amazing.
The other movie she was in that was really good is this is directed by John Sturgis, but it's got Michael Caine, Donald Sutherland, and Robert Duvall.
Well, you're winning already.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 3 of the best actors from the era.
It also has Donald Pleasance in it.
I was just going to say, oh my God, throw in Donald Pleasance and Charlton Heston, and you've got an absolute A movie.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of them in there.
Yep.
Well,
Not
I
a
mean,
Heston fan?
You want to talk about the movie that had the all-star cast, though? That's Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that just yesterday.
We were, because somebody said us talking about tanks made them want to watch Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah, that's right. I think that was George, wasn't it?
Maybe. And it's like Telly Savalas, Shannon Carol O'Connor, Clint Eastwood, Donald Sutherland. What's the name of the little comedian? Wrinkles?
Don Wickles.
Don Wrinkles is in it. I mean, that Rickles, whatever. That movie literally had like an all-star cast.
Sure things, Joms.
You know, it was pretty good. Actually, Joms?
Well,
no,
Wrinkles.
it's
Joms,
Thomas.
DM Joms.
It's Thomas.
No. I get to call you whatever I want, just like you get to call Don Wrinkles what you want to call him.
Well, he is wrinkly.
So we're all wrinkly at that age.
Jesus Christ.
And also, FYI, I have it on good authority that he didn't ask you to defend him.
Yeah, but I have it on good authority that I felt the need to do it anyway, so I did. Right.
Typical Canadians always
I
get
know.
involved.
Fucking
Always
Canadian.
get involved in other countries' business.
Oh, yeah, we're renowned for that.
That's what I'm saying.
So, Bear, I'm going to go with a basic question here. You did watch the entire series of Firefly, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When fucking Pilot's wife, the choosing Cleopatra 80,
Yeah.
Gina Torres.
Gina Torres, when she says, when she starts talking about the war, because her husband's like, you and Mal got your knives out cutting into these apples. What the fuck's that about? And he just bites an apple. And she starts explaining how during the war they had a Canadian trick played on them. Did you have a small welling of pride when you saw that?
No. So here's the thing. As a Canadian, my dick doesn't get hard every time Americans remember we exist. Funny that.
on a show primarily staffed by Canadians. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I didn't get a stiffy. I wasn't jumping up and down going, "Ooh, they said they said the place I live." Like, no, it didn't happen.
But
sorry.
It was a neat piece of backstory where Gina Torres recalls how they were kind of needing food, and so the Alliance guys in a trench over started throwing them apples, and the guys that went and immediately bit into the apple hit the detonator and blew their face off. I'm like,
jolly good show. Anyway, though, Six String Samurai, that's another one, Bruce.
String Samurai.
Six String Samurai.
And the other one was what? It was a Canon film. I caught that part.
Radioactive Dreams.
Radioactive Dreams. Okay.
Very good. I have it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Well, I have it. I have a shitty VHS rip of it.
Yeah, I have the DVD. But it doesn't matter because you can watch it for free on freaking YouTube anytime you want.
No, yeah, that's true. You can, yeah, that's right.
They get to the last city or whatever. It's called Edge City, and the city split by like freaking musical genre. There's like the disco era and the hippie area, and then like the electro dance music area, and you know, disco mutants. You gotta watch out for the disco mutants.
Well, that's well-known
Little
fact.
bastards.
Everybody knows you got to watch out for the disco mutants, dude.
Yeah. But anyway, it's good. It's a good movie, and I think the one guy that's in it, the guy that actually plays the main character, Philip, I think he was also in Christine,
Maybe he's
the
also
Stephen
the other.
King movie. Christine.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's the blonde guy that basically is like best friends with the crazy loser.
Right.
The other guy is Michael Dudikoff, the American Ninja.
Yeah.
So,
Was Michael Dudikoff in the original Riddick movie?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, who played the
Bounty
bounty?
Hunter? That was Cole Hauser, William Hauser's son.
Ah,
Fucking Michael Dudikoff is 71 years old now.
oh, okay. Well, he was good in that movie. He's always dancing and being a goofball.
Yeah, he's really funny. He's got a great sense of humor, that guy.
Yeah, you know, he was the funny one, and Philip was like the really serious one, you know, that was like, you know. And of course, everyone liked Marlowe better because, you know, he was the friendly, funny one.
It's a good movie. I quite enjoyed it.
Yep.
Apparently, Bounty Hunters was good enough that they had to have Bounty Hunters too.
There's one.
Huh. But yeah, those two are like must-see post-apocalyptic movies. Now, Six String Samurai is about Buddy Holly, who goes on a journey from Texas to Las Vegas to become the king because Elvis is dead. And Las Vegas is the last stronghold of freedom because the Soviets invaded and conquered like most of the West Coast. But the problem is there's other guitarists that are on the way, and they also all carry swords. And also, Death has put a bounty on Buddy's guitar. And when I say Death, I mean, you know, the old Reaper himself, who always appears in the movie as Slash from Guns N' Roses. Like, because you can never see his face. He's got that long hair and he wears a top hat. And there's a great guitar scene at the end where, like, Buddy Holly's playing Buddy Holly style rock, and then Death is like, now you will crumble before the weight of heavy metal. And he busts out the flying V and starts chunk, you know. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's on my list.
And the soundtrack is done by a little known band. I'm sure Shadow knows, called the Red Elvises, who are a Russian band that does nothing but beach music.
Yeah, he knows them. They opened up for the Leather Fuck Rights once upon a time.
Like, they're
There's a
known
band you haven't heard
for,
of.
why don't we do some boogie woogie?
What's up, RPG Dad?
Boogie woogie in the dark. Why don't we do the boogie woogie? Of course, they have the strong Russian accent. And the one guy, instead of playing a guitar, he's playing like that giant, I forget the name of it, the giant Russian thing that's like triangular. It's a stringed instrument, but it's like a giant triangle with the guitar frets on it, you know. And yeah. And Buddy's an alcoholic. I forgot that part too. Yeah. There's a great scene where Death shows up looking for Buddy, but he's gone. But the Red Elvises are there playing music. And Death is all like, I thought I told you to kill the Four Eyes, because Buddy wears glasses. And they're like, we're sorry, Comrade Death, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you have failed me for the last time. And then he looks down, he says, nice shoes. Right? Because they're all wearing really cool, like, wingtips and shit. And then in the next scene, you see Death and his henchmen walking down the road, and they're wearing the Red Elvis shoes. You know, because he killed them. Tuck their shoes. Funny, right?
Sorry, I'm making a table of contents.
Why don't we do the boogie boogie?
Yeah, I forgot Michael Dudikoff was on a sitcom with Brian Dennehy back in '82.
Was he?
Star of the Family.
Yeah.
Yep. Lasted for like 12 weeks. That's about it.
Last night, Jesus took me over the moon. And he said, why don't you do some boogie woogie?
You have much of it.
Da, da,
You
da,
don't know how to use a computer.
da, 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 da. Boogie woogie. Why don't we do the boogie woogie? Yeah. I don't know what went wrong with those guys, but they woke up one day and said, I know we're Russians and all, but what if we would just do like 50s and 60s beach music? And, it worked out for them for a little while. Worked out for them for a little while. They have a really great song called Your Love Is Killing Me. It's in the soundtrack. It basically talks about a guy dating a girl that's literally killing him. It's like, and he's like, and it's like a sad, he's like, ooh, your love is killing me. Yeah. And then, of course, they all drink toilet water.
Like you do.
Because it's post-apocalyptic, man.
Yeah, man.
He's like, hey, little dude, how much for a sip off that toilet water? Anyway, like I said, if you haven't watched it, make a deal. A deal? What kind of a deal?
Did you ever see Crud Mandoon and the Flaming Sword of Fire?
Oh, no.
I have, yes.
It's an early Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart's in it, along with like 4 other people that are very forgettable. But this barbarian is going through the land, and he's trying to fix some ills that are going on. And towards the end, they get to the big warlord's castle, and they're like, well, the only way we can get in here is if we polymorph ourselves into dogs, and we can get our girlfriend, and we can get the warlord. But that spell wears off at sunrise, so we won't be able to fight as dogs. We can just infiltrate. They get into the tower, and they all gather around. Okay, guys, everybody pick a corner and do your business. And so all the dogs get in each of the corners, and then the camera starts to do slow motion as all the dogs start to lick themselves. And that lasts for about 45 seconds. And then the sun comes up. But I was not expecting that. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is an actual comedic moment in this show. Because most of it was not funny. It was 5 episodes or 5 hours long, and it could have been condensed into like 24 minutes.
Yeah, I never seen that. I did see the one where David Carradine's some kind of fighter, and like the female lead has no top on for like the whole movie.
That says Warrior and Sorceress.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, not Yojimbo, but the other one. I think it is Yojimbo. No,
Yeah, it's
the
basically
Kurosawa
$50 dollars or whatever.
Yeah, it's really just the same shit, different stage, right?
Well, I mean, they stole our ancient westerns and made them better with their samurai stuff, and then we stole their samurai stuff. Well, we didn't. The Italians did, and made westerns. Whatever. Like in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, literally the only actors speaking English in that whole movie are the main three. Everyone else is dubbed because none of them speak English. So you've got Tuco, Blondie, and Angel Eyes. They're the only ones speaking English. But bet your soul against the fiddle of gold. Yeah. Round the mountain, run, boy, run. Devil's in the house of the rising sun. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's Charlie Daniels.
It's a great song.
Chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Granny does a dog bite. No child, no.
It's a great band, actually.
Yeah, they were. Are maybe, I don't know.
I gotta say, I miss Charlie Daniels. I used to turn on Fox News every once in a while, and they'd bring him on. And I knew as soon as he popped on the camera, I'm like, oh, we're going to have some common sense talked about here for a while.
Oh.
Usually it was
It's getting ready to get wild because Charlie Daniels thinks that criminals should be strapped to cypress stumps and just left out in the swamp. Like, because the bugs and the snakes and the gators will do the rest. Charlie Daniels, man. That guy. I got his autograph at a Holiday Inn when I was like 10. Yep. He was blind then too. Little known thing that is probably not little known. Charlie Daniels was blind as a bat.
Yeah, there's a lot more famous musicians that it kind of blows my mind. I mean, I get it. Your sense of hearing is, supposedly enhanced, but I don't know, man. It's just
He didn't start out blind. He had some kind of ocular degeneration shit. By the time he was like 40 years old, he was blind, man. Like, not really super blind. Like, he could make out like shapes and shit. But yeah, he was definitely not sighted. And then, of course, my boy Hank Jr. was out hunting and decided to fall off a mountain and F himself up. And from then on, he wore those really big glasses. And that's mostly to hide the fact that his head is lopsided. Because,
mountains will do that to you.
apparently falling off a mountain and crushing your skull and then having it put back together surgically. Sometimes shit ain't exactly symmetrical, so. Right. And then his son is a meth addict that hangs around with the wild whites of West Virginia, who are an embarrassment to Appalachia. But, whatever. But yeah, Charlie Daniels. Charlie Daniels is great. Hank Williams Jr., both great. Hank Williams had, of course, a problem with the pills. He probably should have stopped with all that. But, people don't because,
The flesh is weak.
The flesh is weak, exactly.
The penis is bad. The gun is good.
Yep.
I still
The
need to
gun
watch
shoots
that.
death. The penis shoots life. Or the seed. The penis shoots the seed, right?
Yes.
And the seed is bad too. So, God, I love that movie.
What movie is this?
Zardoz.
Because
Oh, okay, yeah. Still
And
not.
people always want to talk shit about it, and that's just, if you start talking shit about Zardoz, that's just a quick way of letting me know that you have no clue what you're talking about.
Never seen it.
maybe that's
That is surprising because it is kind of like an underground sort of hipsterish movie. You got Sean Connery running around with all of his chest hair hanging out in a red Speedo with a Webley pistol. But the thing with it is that people watch it and they get so caught up in Sean Connery's hairy chest that they miss that there's an actual story there. And the story is really good, unless you're really offended by eugenics, because the whole story is that humans managed to figure out how to become immortal. And then some of them decided they hated being immortal so effing much that they start using eugenics over tens of thousands of years to create a type of human that could destroy the machine that kept them alive so that they could finally die. So now
they just ran out of explosives. I mean,
no, they couldn't destroy the machine.
Why?
Psychic shields and shit like that. They needed a special man who could ignore all the mental bullshit and go in there and destroy the machine.
Gotcha.
None of them could do it. And then if you broke their laws, their punishment was to age you. So they had like a whole barn full of people that were like, I don't know, 70, 80 years old, and they're all crazy as loons. And then another side effect was ambivalence. Because apparently if after you live a couple thousand years, you might just go into a catatonic state and stand and stare at a wall because you've already seen everything and done everything and heard everything, that you're literally just going to stand there, you know?
Yeah.
And then his name, which is Zed or something like that.
Zed.
And that itself is like a great part of the story because Zed is the end. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so, yeah, he sneaks into the place, kills the guy that was, you know, using the eugenics, and then ends up figuring shit out and wiping everything out. And yeah. And then he takes one of the immortal women who are no longer immortal as his wife. They have a son. He goes off on his way. They die of old age, and that's the end. So everything ends as it should. Immortality defeated. But I've had this debate a couple times, not with any of you, I don't think, that any species that was able to be immortal would by nature become evil over time.
I don't know about that.
I think one of the reasons that I like the Dark Elves so much in Warhammer is they make perfect sense. They've been alive for so long that only the most extreme things cause any emotional response. And by extreme, I mean, you know, skinning humans alive, wearing their faces as masks.
Yeah, the Melbourneans did it well as
having a giant blood orgy, making saddles for your riding beasts out of orc hide. Because, you know, orc hide's really thick, so it makes good saddles.
Yeah.
Right.
From all that time in Mexico.
Right.
Under the sun.
Gents, I appreciate being here with you guys, and I would like to stay longer. I'm seeing my fatigue meter creep up. I'm going to say adieu.
Take care, buddy.
Take care, Bruce.
Adieu.
Sorrow.
But I shall say goodnight until it be tomorrow.
Well, may flocks of angels carry you to your rest.
No.
Adieu, goodbye, afraid to say goodbye or whatever.
So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Yeah. I wonder what's up with that. Bruce is just like, oh, I gotta get out here. Cops are on the way.
Yeah, that's weird. That was really weird.
Right?
He probably had a long work day, and
I shouldn't say that because that's how rumors get started. Next thing you know,
yeah.
Did you hear about Bruce?
You hear about Shadow? He makes gay porn and keeps immigrants locked in his basement.
I know, right? I swear to God, the first time someone comes knocking at the door with a badge, I'm blaming you schmoes.
You blame
Don't
us?
blame me. I'm pretty sure that your
I'm pretty sure
son
keeping
and
people-
Hungar started that.
No, I'm pretty sure you can't blame us because keeping people locked in your basement for the purposes of gay porn was the mistake, not us talking about it. So clearly blame yourself, sir. Blame yourself.
It's never happened.
Uh-huh.
My browsing
Listen,
history.
listen. Maybe your cops. Listen, I'm with you.
It's never enough.
I believe you fully.
As you should. Because we don't play those games.
Oh, we don't play those games. You heard it here first, folks.
I do not want to be the recipient of any stupid games prizes.
No matter how much I try, it's never enough. Anyway, The Cure. Question mark.
Yes.
I love the meme someone made. It was just like, I don't know much about COVID, but this is The Cure. And it just had a picture of The Cure standing.
Yes.
It's just like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I dig it. I dig it. You know, this is The Cure.
Yep.
So you excited about Claricon, Bear?
Sorry?
Are you excited about Claricon?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I'm not a fucking kid.
Really?
I'm going to another place
I don't
now.
mean like a little freaking girl Christmas morning, but
What's wrong with you?
you know
Bear, why are you so toxic?
Why am I so toxic? Fuck.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, either. I don't know either. I think
You
I
need
should
to borrow
split
some
that.
money to get a hooker. Like, you know, get you back in the happy bear mode. Like, I mean, how much does a Sikh core go for these days up in
Wow,
freaking
a
Montreal?
Sikh, specifically a Sikh one too. Like, I like how you went real specific on your.
Well, I mean, you dated a Sikh woman and you really enjoyed it.
I was
so-
engaged. I was engaged for 9 years.
Well, that's
Wait
your
a
problem.
minute. You were engaged for 9 years? Why so
Yeah,
long?
that's your problem. Should have married that bitch.
So here's how it works when you're dating Bronze Age cultures, guys. You don't get to just do whatever the fuck you want. You sometimes have to. Shit. All right, I got to put up with all this nonsense and all this other garbage that goes on and this, that, and the other thing. And one of the things that's very hard with them is that they're very family oriented. And her parents, as she put it best, her parents would be far more accepting of her coming home with a woman than with a white guy. So the only one in her family who knew about us was her sister. And her sister kept telling me to kidnap her. Like, legitimately. She's like, you should kidnap her, take her away and marry her. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
That would
She has to
be
in- she has to
perfectly
be in-
acceptable in many cultures.
Okay, so again, I play in the world of psychology. Just like I would never date a woman who has fake tits that didn't have a mastectomy and therefore needed them, I would never be marrying a woman I had to kidnap because that was the only way she could get her head out of her ass long enough to choose me over her family. That are just abusive, money-grubbing fucks who sucked her dry and made her pay for a house and all the other shit that went down.
Hey, in Finnish culture, that's how you got your wife back in
Well,
the
I'm not Finnish, so that helps too. But
Do
yeah,
you ever finish?
no. Well, I would finish once in a while, sure.
I
But
think he needs to finish.
the point being, you fuck, is that you don't. I just wasn't gonna have that. Wasn't gonna happen.
Bear needs a happy ending worse than any man I've ever met.
Can we just let that go for fuck's sake?
And I said seek because, like I said, I listen to you and I know that you have proclivities. So if I'm going to loan you money to go get down with somebody, I want it to be the person you want it to be, not just some rando, you know?
Well, I mean, if you're paying for it, it is kind of just some rando. Unless you
We
got
go
like
back to just
if you
picking
got
on
some sort of
Shadow.
subscription rate.
No. If you're going to buy a prostitute, get the one you want.
Can we literally
Don't
go back to
settle.
picking on Shadow now, please?
Yeah, we can always pick on Shadow Bear. That's a thing. He opens himself up for it. It's like he lives for it.
No, he most
See,
certainly
you don't, but I kind of I know you're a crab, but I know the chinks in your armor, buddy.
Who's
I
mine?
can get in there. Yeah, that's right. You want to be crabby a little bit, but I know where all the gaps are.
Okay,
Yeah.
you enjoy that thought process.
I will, even if it's completely insane.
It is massively insane.
And I don't care
Why isn't this not public? I just made it fucking public.
because ultimately, I'm not even
Yeah,
sure.
we're
you
probably
guys
going to have to,
do this.
RPG Dad.
Like, for all I know, really, I could be the only intelligence floating around in this made up, like, whatever
Matrix?
I created. And that means that I made you guys up too.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So maybe when I don't see you, you don't actually exist.
It's funny. I was thinking the same thing the other day.
See? I know because
How much that would suck.
I made you think.
But if we made all this up, fuck.
Yeah.
I very desperately need to see I need help because if I made all this shit up, I am the most uncreative fuck who ever lived, and that's not good.
Well, it could be like in the Matrix where they kept trying to make a utopia, but humans just would not accept it, so they had to make it all effed up.
Could be.
I want to take a little umbrage with that because we're pretty fucking original, unique individuals.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shadow, can you do me a favor? Can you click on this and make sure it's a live link, please? I'm putting it in the private chat.
Sure.
We're all individuals. I'm not.
This may take a few
Gentlemen.
seconds. Verifying I'm
Gentlemen.
getting up.
It appears we're not all in agreement. I disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playtest edition. Add to cart. PDF
Well,
$9.99.
Now you know what you both need to do for $9.99. Add that bitch to your cart.
Now, just out of curiosity, though, Bear, how
Yeah.
much would your typical C-Core cost?
Be next to impossible. They don't do it. Maybe if you're in India, you'd find it, but in Canada, you'd be really hard pressed to find a Sikh-specific prostitute.
Damn it.
Also,
I thought you guys said you were having them, like, integrate into your
Dude.
society.
We do, but I wouldn't want that anyway. Why would I want that? That's so weird.
Well, I can think of a couple of reasons.
My
But
question is
I'm more
this.
curious as to why it's not a thing there, but it's a thing elsewhere.
I love curry,
Point.
so I wonder if, like, an Indian or a Sikh woman would, like, smell and taste like curry. Because I'd be pretty happy with that. You know what I mean? Because I do love curry. That's what messed me up yesterday. I ate like 4 different kinds of curry all together. And I actually added some extra hot to the curry. So, yeah. And there's only one thing that can kill a curry, and that's a lager. That's a deep cut reference to Red Dwarf, which I don't know if Shadow's ever seen.
Oh, please.
So you have seen Red Dwarf, though.
Of course I have. I've seen it probably the entire series probably a dozen times or more.
So you have seen things, just not normal things.
Right. I don't watch a lot of cheaper movies. And the only reason I ever came across Red Dwarf was because way back in the early 80s, I think it was, right after Doctor Who, they started showing it. And only the first, I want to say, 3 or 4 seasons of it. And I still have the cassette, the VHS cassette that I taped it on, hoping to, see more of it. And, thanks to the internet, I got to see more and more of it. Unfortunately, it's freaking so hard to find on DVD.
That's what I'm talking about, RPG Dad. Let's get a GoFundMe going for Bear.
You know he's just going to use the money to pay an artist, so no.
No, because like GoFundMe, we could hide it so that people would not know.
Yeah, we're just paying for art.
We could be like, we could term it as in nearly extinct bear breeding program. Like, we need money so that we can help one of the last of the Montreal bears reproduce. And like all of the PETA people and all of the animal lovers would probably throw tons of money at that.
Wow. That was funny. That was good.
And then, you know, and if you can't find a Sikh bear to do bear stuff with, I mean, there's French bears. And a lot of them are pretty hot. And he lives in the town where all the hottest ones live. And I'm sure some of them will play with his bear junk for money.
I'm just going to go ahead and start the radio show.
So, you know, it all works out.
No, it doesn't. It's not at all.
Well, okay. I mean, you're a single man. I'm not saying you should do it. It is obviously a sin. But also, according to the Old Testament, it's a bigger sin to spill your seed on the ground.
Every sperm is sacred.
Yeah, like in Hebrewic law, like it's less of a sin to put your seed in the belly of a whore than on the ground.
Every sperm is
So, you know, whatever. And speaking
if
of
a
sperm,
sperm is
That doesn't make any,
wasted,
no, that doesn't make any sense.
God gets quite irate.
what doesn't make sense, Shadow?
Okay. Impregnating a woman who doesn't want to be pregnant and who's just going to be a whore and treat the kid like crap, how can that be better than
Maybe
flushing?
the whore is infertile.
Maybe. So either way, it's going to the same place, down the toilet.
Listen, Shadow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this or not, but in Leviticus, being a feminine man is worthy of death.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay.
And there's,
So if you
But
got a
it-
problem with this shit, talk to Moses.
it just doesn't make any scientific sense. They're both going to end up, you know,
Scientific
nowhere.
sense when we're talking about religion? What the fuck is wrong with you?
There's a
What
lot.
the fuck is wrong with you?
But it doesn't make any sense. It's
And I'm
physically.
telling you where you're going wrong.
The
you're
seed is
trying
going
to
to end up in the same
science.
place.
To say why religion works the way it does. You're automatically fucked right there.
No, there's always a logical explanation. If you look deep enough, there is a logical explanation.
Oh, Shadow.
Right.
My sweet summer child.
There really is.
Okay. You just keep on believing that.
Why we don't kill people? Because then other people get mad and they kill you back, and that's like starts an endless cycle of the Hatfields versus McCoys.
God.
We
I
had
think your
it all,
worldview is that humans are just naturally evil demons.
just like Bogey
Yes,
and
that's absolutely correct.
See,
That's why we
that's
need
not
peace.
cool.
in our own belief show.
If we didn't have some sort of higher power to keep us in line, we wouldn't be here anymore.
Oh my God.
At all.
Oh my goodness. Humans are naturally good. It's when we're affected upon by our environment, which is fallen, that we become evil.
No, I
That's
think
not true either.
Yes. When a human comes out of the womb, it is a perfect, beautiful little thing.
If you
And
say
then
so.
throughout its life, it can become good or evil based on its surroundings.
Sure, why not?
I've never met a single living or dead person that's
No, I've never met a dead person, so you got me there.
that's lived an entirely sinless life, and all it takes is one to put us in the bad
Shadow,
category.
why are your standards so high? Why can't you just say,
Seriously.
you know, I met a dude and he was a relatively good dude?
Because
and
we
just
all
deal
have
with that.
we all have skeletons in our
Because
closet.
all right, you want to know why? I'll tell you why. You want me to? I'll do this. Since you guys had so much fun.
No,
making jokes
Shadow
with me,
already answered the question.
I'm going to explain it. Shadow did so much shitty shit in his earlier life that he is now trying to recapture the lost time by being a perfect Christian. He will fail, and eventually he will get to Gnosis. And when he reads at Gnosis, or he arrives at Gnosis, he will understand that it was all for naught, and the secret was to get to net zero.
Don't listen to any of that. 'cause it's
I'll agree with
heretical
some of that,
and
but not
heresy.
all of that, especially the end part.
Yeah,
But
well, that's
Shadow,
because
you
believe
said
in
because you did
dogma
so
and
much
Greek
effed up
doctrine.
shit that you can't imagine other humans being good.
Everybody's got skeletons. Just saying.
Dude, not everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
I don't have any skeletons. I have
You-
been upfront and completely honest about everything.
Well, okay, maybe that's the
I
wrong
like.
term, but you are not without sin.
Of course I'm not. I
That's
do
what I
stupid
thought.
shit all the time. It's not the
According to
same.
your crazy Catholic shit, we were born with it.
But not in Orthodoxy.
I
don't
know.
believe that.
It's my favorite part of the crazy woo that is Catholicism. You were born imperfectly because of a woman.
Because your father's effed up, so now you got their sin. That's
Not your father. No. The original sin is Eve.
right.
That is the original sin. It's not your
And now
father.
you're all effed
You
up.
were born fucked up because of women.
Doc Flamingo says he
No.
would use as a wood chipper. I don't know what
What?
he's using it for, but hey.
Listen, explain to me how you can have female priests leading churches or female Archbishop of Canterbury in England when the Bible clearly says, suffer not a woman to teach the word of God.
Yeah, it's called demons, but anyway.
See what I'm saying? So how do I know your religion's full of shit? Not you two, but like someone's religion's full of shit when they can't even follow the rules in their own book.
Well, that doesn't. You can't blame the religion for that. You've got to blame the people for that.
Right.
Nope. I blame the religion because God made the covenant with the religion that as the religion does on earth, so God approves. This is part of the whole book, the Holy Book.
Oh, again,
Or-
you're quoting Roman Catholic and dogma. Get out of here.
Well, I hate to break the news to you. They're the guys who created most of the religions we all follow, except
No,
for
they're
yours.
not. They
Except for
broke
me.
away from the true church in 1158.
If you actually fucking listen to me talk, James, as opposed to
I
cutting me
do.
off, they're going to be agreeing with you.
I know.
Except for the Orthodoxy, who are not an offshoot of the Catholic Church, but are actually a almost simultaneous creation. But all of the Protestant religions, all of the evangelical religions, all trace their common origin to Catholicism.
Yeah, which I
Oh.
always thought was funny because of how much a lot of Protestants hate Catholics. And it's like, dude, you are Catholics. It's like everything you believe is what they taught. You just decided you didn't like a couple of their rules.
Hi, Doc.
What's happening, Doc?
But anyway,
Yo, motherfuckers need
doesn't
crowd.
acknowledge any
No.
That ain't
No, that bitch better get her ass to prom fast. Prom.
Everybody knows that a true follower of Crom doesn't need Crom.
No. You are
as
incorrect,
so
sir.
below.
Prom does not need them. They
Right.
need prom.
And since Crom literally does nothing for
That's why
a
they
worshiper
need
of Crom, except maybe scorn and pity them, to be
Sorry,
a perfect
Doc.
Crom
Doc,
worshiper,
I'm
you don't
really
need
sorry,
Crom.
Doc. Doc,
And if you go there,
and
Doc,
we got
and
Bruce
you
back.
do not know the
Doc,
riddle still,
Doc,
you
you
will
walked
laugh
in with
at
a
you.
fantastic fucking joke. It was great, and then hipster fucking Spuds McGee over here just shat all over it. So I'm so sorry. It was a
Hey,
great
that's my goal in life.
Great
So I'll rack up some more experience points.
He will laugh at you and he'll cast you out of Valhalla. That is Crom, strong on his mountain.
Right.
And
I
then
was gonna
what
go to
does
bed, but I
David
got
say though? Well, I worship the four winds. Your God lives beneath my God.
Yes.
And Conan's just sitting there eating the chicken, being like, huh? Interesting to think about, I guess. I don't know.
Watching Conan lose his first theological debate was always a great scene.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there kind of giving freaking Subutai the stink eye.
There's one story, I'm not sure if it was a pastiche or not, where there's actually a divine intervention from Crom. Because Conan gets poisoned, and Crom, and he like goes before Crom, and he's like, "No, I'm not letting you go out like that."
No,
He sends him back.
that's got to be an L. Sprague de Camp Lynn Carter
Robert Jordan
fan fiction story. It's not in the originals.
Okay.
No, there was fan fiction. It doesn't count because it doesn't make.
I just went through everything
I'm a hip-
Robert E. Howard wrote without any.
I'm a hipster fucking purist, and everything has to be the original source only. It cannot evolve or grow in any way, shape, or form because Robert E. Howard is dead. Therefore, no new Conan.
Okay, I gotta ask. The stuff when Mongoose Publishing had the Conan license, do you guys value that? Because they made some novels.
I didn't say didn't value it. It's just not original.
No,
I
there's some
valued
great
it,
stuff out
and they would have been perfectly fine had they not tried to add Martial Arts to the Asia book. But when they did that, the R.E. Howard estate was like, nah, fuck you.
Yeah,
And
they pulled the license over that, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Yep.
put license over that. They were
rightly so.
already mad about the Southern Kingdom thing, though, where Mongoose, Odysseus tried to apologize for any depictions of Africans, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean,
see, I didn't see any of the portrayals of black people as being like abusive or mean.
There was one story that got a lot of flack even back in the day about the cannibals.
yeah, the cannibals who worship, I forget the name of the god, but they're from Darfur.
Yes, exactly. That's the exact story I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It was, it was a little rough.
It wasn't a little rough. They were a cult of cannibals.
That's rough. I mean, not.
But there's no racism there. It's just
no.
that they're a cult of cannibals.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah.
Valorous just launched.
Oh, nice.
Nice. And they worshipped Jubal Saul or whatever his name was.
Is it the same as the one you just sent?
The one I just sent is the one. Or the Discord, the one that I just updated in the Discord is the same one, yes.
Oh, okay.
But that way, if you guys want to, support, you can. Otherwise, you can spread the word.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I am a supporter of yours.
It's still officially, I'm still officially calling it a playtest edition because.
Is there a print version out yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I have the PDF of the previous. I want to hold out for a print.
This is the new PDF, though. This is 2.2, not 2.1.
And also, I'm going to talk a little bit. Sorry. Shadow. You need to watch the Conan movies.
I have.
And get over yourself and just enjoy them for what they are.
Schlocky? Sure.
I mean, come on. Crom, I rarely play too. I haven't the tongue for it. Right? Come on. That's awesome. That's fucking. And if you do not listen, then to hell with you.
The way I get around it is I just tell myself it's a great story set in the Hyborian age about a completely different guy who also happens to be named Conan.
No, that's how I look at the 2013 version with Jason Momoa. It's a really interesting film about Conan's cousin Conan, because that's what they keep calling him.
Well, let's be honest. Conan. It's not like Conan's a rare name.
No, not at all.
But again, they don't call him Conan in the 2013 movie. They call him Conan. Everyone says his name like they're from fucking upstate New York. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in a fucking movie. Conan. What is that? Conan. It's Conan. And there's a fucking A in it. Jesus Christ, trying to pronounce vowels.
Yeah.
Or if they did it from Long Island, it'd be Cohen the Barbarian. Oh, jeez. Oh,
hey, you know what? That's right up there with my other favorite show, G.I. Joe, a real American hero.
Yeah.
Welcome to the United States of America.
Did you say a real
American? That's when you went to the racist part.
Did you just
my
say
joke was funny, and you went racist.
Did you just say a real American Shapiro?
I did.
Just wanted to make sure I didn't need any Q-tips.
This was
that
a
was
joke.
fun.
A friend of mine, my friend Sam Calvin, told me this joke the first week I met him back in grade 9.
That's really good.
I'm watching G.I. Joe. It's interesting cartoon. Oh, you like that G.I. Joe, a real American Shapiro? And I'm like, what the fuck, man? He goes, what? I'm Jewish. I can say it. I was like, all right, that's fair.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm about as Jewish as Elizabeth Warren is Indian.
Yes, exactly. That's what you say. What you said. It's
over
the line. It's like remember in Community when what's his name kept saying Jew all the time at the table, and finally Alison Green's character just goes, you could just add the ish at the end. Just because the way he's saying the word.
It's kind of weird how people are. If you say Jew, then that's bad, but Jewish is not bad. And it's like
you can say Jew, you just have to say it without it being a negative or putting that spin on the sound. You know what I mean?
So like the N-word.
No, not like the N-word.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you end it with an A and like a dap and a handshake and maybe a hug.
And maybe a reparation. I don't know. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. Good luck.
If we actually are going to go into reparations, they owe us.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce is here. No.
Quick, someone distract him. Mention Nancy Pelosi.
Did you see the tits on that girl?
For like an 80-year-old woman. She's got a nice rack.
Oh.
Like, seriously.
I'll be right back.
Take me with you.
If I could, I would.
Jesus Christ.
He could if he would open a bear sanctuary in California.
Stop your shit right now.
But anyway,
Be staffed by 20-something fucking females. I choose you.
yeah, he could introduce you to a Latina
I know plenty. I don't need to be introduced.
who
Don't you want to have crazy in your life?
likes you, but actually the love of her life is Shay Guevara.
I've had plenty in my life. Thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, doesn't acknowledge any popes. Well, yeah, me neither. And pope is just a Egyptian word that means bishop. So, whatever. And we do acknowledge that the Pope in Rome is a bishop, but he's all effed up. So there is that. But anyway, I mean, you know what?
You know what?
Baird, you know what?
What?
I think I'm just getting over the purist thing.
The purist thing?
Yeah, the purist thing.
Are you friendly? You're friendly? Welcome. Welcome, brother.
Like I'm saying is, I can like Conan stuff that wasn't directly done by R.E. Howard. And I can enjoy Lovecraftian stuff that might have been written by someone other than Lovecraft.
Yes, you can.
I can do these things.
Yes.
And I feel like people who refuse to do these things are denying themselves the possibility of having a good time.
Very small penises. You are correct. Yes.
Very small penises. What? Okay. Well,
Not
I'll
being
let them
employed at
go
the
there,
Morningwood
but, I mean,
Milking
you know.
Farm. They could not be employed at the Morningwood Milking Farm. They're just not.
Oh, they could be employed there. but
Okay,
they would be
what
the
review did you
workers,
guys
not the
watch?
jerkies.
What review did you guys watch? Because I watched Shoe on Head talk about Milking Farm.
Oh, that was good, wasn't it?
Oh,
That's
it
what I
was
watched.
so good.
By the way, James, I love that you said milky because that made me immediately think of, as the pursuer, may I say you are the goddamnedest pursuee I ever pursued. And now that the mutual bullshit is over, where are you, son bitch?
Oh my god, that was good. Is that like Burt Reynolds or some shit?
That was Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason was the sheriff, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Buford T. Justice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Good.
so I watched Shoe on Head, Bruce. Even though I also, before I watched Shoe on Head, I watched Nux and Or watch Shoe on Head. But as Bear pointed out, Nux is decent, but sometimes his videos will run like 3-4 hours. And it's always he'll stop and say something, and then it's like, but that really didn't need to be said. Shoe on Head just straight up calls modern millennial women a bunch of sexual degenerates.
Yeah.
And at one point mentions that maybe the 19th Amendment was a bad idea.
I agree. What?
Wait, what? But you know, she's funny how she does it. And like Bear pointed out to me yesterday when I was being a little bit in my calcified ways. So what? A 20-year-old changes opinions, and then now that she's 30-something, she's starting to have other opinions.
If you weren't a liberal,
Bear was right.
in your 20s,
Plus, she had a baby.
James, if you weren't a liberal in your 20s, you had no heart. If you weren't a conservative in your 30s and 40s or your 40s, you had no brain.
Well, plus she had a baby, Bear.
But that's what fucking Churchill said.
Yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't a baby bear, but she had a little offspring, and that'll totally change your worldview for sure. You know what else will change your worldview? Paying property taxes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much of a communist you are. When the property taxes come in, you're like, I hate the government. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, taxes, boy. So that's why so many of these communists are like young and live at home with their mom.
Wasn't it Thomas Paine who said, the first duty of a patriot is to protect the citizens from the government?
Well, I don't know about all that, and we're not starting any civil wars today. But I am telling you that,
We're not starting any
looking
civil
for.
wars today, sir, so you can just shut your fucking pie hole. Yes, you can.
but what I am saying is it's all fun and games until you got to pay a shit ton of taxes. And then all of a sudden it's not fun or game.
Yeah, well, who was that comedian? He said when he became a homeowner, he became a Nazi.
I don't know what comedians you're watching.
I'll find it.
Heinrich Himmler?
He was awesome. You ever see him at
That guy-
the stuff at the Improv, the old HBO specials?
He could work a
I
crowd.
must have missed that.
His crowd work was pretty fucking impressive, let me tell you.
It was. And he was a somewhat educated man, especially in matters of the occult.
He was very, that's what I didn't like about him. He kept working it into all his routines. It was like, you know what, can I just hear some jokes?
You will now laugh with great mirth.
Now is the time to laugh at the joke I make, yeah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came up with the theory that the true Aryan race come from Tibet or some shit.
Are you talking about Jim Brewer?
No, I'm talking about like Himmler.
Wow.
I'm not sure who Jim Brewer
That is a
is.
hell of a leap, Bruce. That is a hell of a leap. You must have a freaking plus
No, no,
6
no.
leaps starting and springing. Holy
Who
shit.
is Jim Brewer?
He's the guy who looks stoned all the time.
Yes.
Oh,
even
yeah,
though he's
that
not.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he made a comment lately about him getting, he's suddenly an evil person because he kind of wants to have a block that doesn't have gunshots on it. He wants to live in a safe neighborhood. And they called him a Nazi.
Well, I mean, that's what you get.
Heaven forbid we should like to see our children, graduate high school or middle school.
Without a gunshot wound.
Right.
I'll tell you guys what. If I were
Or a
rich
teardrop tattoo. Just
and a
saying.
movie star, I would not speak to anyone ever. I would be like Paulie from Goodfellas. I would talk to one person at a time, only in private, with nobody wearing wires. Like, that would be me. You'd see me in the movie pretending to be a twink or something. And then after the movie was over, you would be like, I wonder who that is. Oh, it says James McKee, but, no one's ever heard of him. No one knows where he lives. No one knows his opinions on anything.
Johns McCoy, yeah, I love Johns McCoy's work. It's great, that Johns McCoy.
Exactly. That's what they would think, because I would just be gone.
I'm still wondering why nobody hit on James's fantasy of playing a twink.
I threw that out there because it's like I would take that role if the check was right. Get the F out of here.
The check was right.
I'm
I
not
don't wanna step
proud.
on your toes,
If some
but-
director came up and said, I'm going to pay you $10 million, you got to play a twink in this movie, I would shave. I would put on some Twinkie looking clothes and I'd be like, I'm ready for lines.
I just want to see James going through Hot Topic and getting an armload of clothes. I just want to see that.
Well, hopefully they have the stuff already there in wardrobe. But like, it doesn't mean I'm a twink in real life. It means I'm pretending.
Yeah, but you get
And if you got
stereotype.
check
And that's the only role you get. You'd be playing twinks into your middle ages.
Oh,
You'd be
so I get
stereotyped.
typecast as a twink at $10
Yeah,
million a shot? Yeah, I think I could do that. The fact that you're having a problem with it.
No, I just think it's funny.
Look what you did. You made Doc Flamingo leave in shame.
Yeah, Doc just said F it.
all of you need to touch grass and get a little fucking crom in your life. That's all I'm saying.
And get a what in our life?
Crom.
A prom?
Crom!
Oh, crom.
In this mountain keep, looking down upon you, laughing at your four winds.
Yeah. Your God lives beneath
I
me.
do love the prayer to Crom. And if you can't give me these things to hell with you.
Yeah. No one will remember if we were good men.
What's up, Squirrel?
What
Boy,
they
did you
will
pick the show
remember
to
is
tune
that
into,
Tim
huh?
stood against many.
Squirrel just fucking run, dude.
Doc had to shit.
It is chaos central.
So did Doc actually vamoose, or was there? Okay, there he is.
Yeah. And if he had
to take a pee,
that was the quickest start in human history.
look,
Part of anything you've seen of Doc over the time we've known him makes you think he's a little girl who gets offended and walks off in a huff.
That's hilarious.
yes, and I
The
went
man murders
to-
poultry for a living, sir.
I ascribe to
Yeah,
the
but poultry doesn't have a soul, so is it really
It's
murder?
like gingers.
Well,
I like to
what
pretend they do.
happens- So you lose.
well because then we get to go to heaven, right?
And to counter your argument, we do have souls. We get one freckle for everyone we steal.
I subscribe to the Samuel Jackson school on movies, which is if you pay me money, I'll be in the movie as whatever you want in the movie.
That's what Michael Caine does.
Oh, okay. My favorite Sam Jackson role has to be the Kingsman.
See, my favorite Sam Jackson role is the crackhead that Eddie Murphy beats up with a mop.
Yes, Coming to America.
Yeah.
Have you
What's up, Ad Nauseam?
you've not seen Kingsman Shadow?
No, I haven't.
So you haven't seen the great sodomization of the Queen of the Netherlands?
Oh my God, it's so good.
I hope that you don't mind violence because the church scene is absolutely bonkers.
No, it is. It's very bonkers.
Yeah, but it's well choreographed, and there's really not a lot of blood. It's just a lot of gunfire and people falling over.
Is there only one of them, or is there?
No, I think there's two.
Three.
There's three. I never even saw the second one. I had no
The second one's called I believe the Secret Circle or something, and then the third one's called The King's Man, set in.
When they start becoming Harry Potter movies, I'm just not interested anymore.
The third one is actually kind of cool because the guy that plays Voldemort is the main character, and he meets up with Rasputin.
Oh, nice. Last time I saw a movie with Rasputin in it, it had a half demon and a Nazi made out of sand and gears.
This Hellboy you're referring to?
Yeah. But Rasputin does make a good bad guy.
He was a good bad guy.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's dead now, obviously, but we hope. But yeah, he makes a good bad guy in superhero stuff.
Rasputin, the Russian queen.
Those were all lies.
There was a cat who really was gone.
Wow.
Yep.
What? Boney M.
I know. I've seen it.
You've seen it. You
Yep,
hear it.
Boney.
Yeah.
And probably my second
The
favorite
music video.
would be True Romance, where he's killed by Gary Oldman in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. Gary Oldman, the white Jamaican.
Yes. He commits to the role. That's all I'm going to say.
You know, well, Gary Oldman always does. You know Brad Pitt's in that movie, right?
Yes, and he plays the best stoner I've ever seen.
Oh, that's right. He's the stoner. Who played Elvis in that movie? Was it
Val
That
Kilmer.
was Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer was Elvis. Yeah.
Wasn't he
I-
also
every
wasn't
time
he
what's
also
his
Jim
name goes
Morrison?
in the bathroom, Elvis is there.
Did he also play Jim Morrison?
Yeah, the Oliver Stone movie.
This is a you guys talk about Kelly's Heroes, which is a fine film, a very excellent film. I feel True Romance is the Kelly's Heroes of the 90s.
It's a good
But
film.
everybody who's a something in the 90s is in it.
Yes, but here's the difference. Kelly's Heroes was a success. Made
Well, I
money.
don't know. The Christopher Walken speech was pretty successful.
The Chris Walken speech.
That's from Pulp Fiction. Are you talking about the one with the Sicilian thing? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Dennis Hopper speech.
No,
Chris
Dennis
Walken.
Hopper gives
Yeah.
a speech to
Yeah,
Christopher
Dennis Hopper
Walken,
does.
who shoots him.
Yeah, that's Dennis Hopper's speech. That's not Chris Walken's. Chris Walken's
Right.
from Pulp Fiction about the watch.
Which I'm sure when Bruce was sitting there watching that, being that he is Italian, that probably meant a lot to him.
It pissed me the fuck off. But as a Northern Nights eye, we used to make fun of the Sicilian kids.
Yeah. So
That's okay.
So
We just make
it
fun of
doesn't
all-
matter though, because Dennis Hopper says you're basically African anyway.
We don't subdivide Italians. We just make fun of you as a lot group.
So, yep, Dennis Hopper.
Like how you guys do to the Irish. You know.
Yeah, what was that old joke they used to say? Why do
Ad nauseam, Jackie Brown is a highly underrated film.
That's a great movie. That's a great movie.
Highly underrated film.
The way I heard the joke is, why do Italians put all their trash in clear bags so the Irish can window shop?
Wow.
Yeah, you know, there's a little bit of resentment and bitterness that goes way back there.
Clearly.
One of my best friends is Italian, and his ex-wife was Irish. Capstick, what a name. Family name, Capstick. So his son, Noah, he's a McWop. That's what he calls him. My little McWop. His son's like
McWop.
than me now. He's like fucking 21. He's like an inch on me. He's like, it's not your little, yeah, he's still my little guy. Okay, my little McWop. All right, well, you enjoyed it. He's your McWop. I mean, you know, what am I gonna do about it?
Well, I remember on Saturday Night Live, they had a skit, I think, and it was like, how not to be racist by Wapnick McJinkstein. And the guy on the cover was literally like every ethnicity. He had like a Star of David, he had like a crucifix, he had like all the shit. It was like,
That's funny.
Hey, James, who's
Yeah.
that guy that runs the Young Turks?
Chink.
Cenk Uygur. Unger.
His name will never not be funny. I swear to God, Chink Uygur. It's like,
Yeah, apparently he is really, really, really mad at Asmongold. He's so mad at Asmongold that in an interview he said he didn't know who Asmongold is. And it's like, oh, so the guy with like tens of millions of followers, you don't know who that is? Yeah, shut the fuck up. Asmongold gets more views than your show does.
Yeah.
But they're
Okay.
trying to, you know, because, oh, I've never even heard of that guy. Yes, you have.
Yeah, he's that shitbag Hassan Piker's uncle.
Yep.
Yeah. And
And the
then he
reason why
tried
he's-
to say Asmongold and another guy named Jägermeister were a team, and Asmongold's like, I don't even know who the fuck Jägermeister is. What's he even talking about? It's like, but yeah, the whole they don't know who he is. It's like that dude's got like 100 million followers. They know who he is. I mean, and again, he gets more views than they do. And he's just a weird dude that lives in Texas and has weird eyebrows.
That checks.
His dad passed recently. So.
Yeah, he was sad about that. And he actually talked about in the video about how cruel people online were because they're like making fun of him about it and shit. But he said, hey, you can't let it get you down because, I mean, the internet's full of bad people, you know? So, you know, plus he gets like, you know, like Nux, he gets like 100 death threats a day. So,
But I thought that.
I just think it's funny because the guy that runs Young Turks has like the most racist sounding name ever. Not acceptable by YouTube policies.
well, I mean, he's Turk.
He is.
His family are billionaires. And, yeah.
I mean, they can have as much money as they want to. I don't give a shit. It's just I always laugh whenever somebody says his name because I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna get canceled.
Well, no, it's, I don't know. Is it Chink Younger or is it Chunk Younger?
I think
or
it's Cenk.
Chink?
Well, I like when Andrew Wilson is on Piers Morgan and Chank's on. He always refers to him as Sink.
Oh my God.
Always. Sink.
And it's only Sink's problem because he did something you never do when you're having an internet argument. He let Andrew Wilson know it bothered him.
Yep.
Don't do that because, you know, a guy like Andrew Wilson, he's going to be like, oh, that bothers you? Now I'm going to do it nonstop forever.
Pretty much.
You know, because
Devil dog.
Constantinople Dias Vault, I agree. Jägermeister was a death knight in his guild during Mists of Pandaria. Yeah, he said something like that. So he's not like, I have no idea what they're talking about. Of course, he also watched Shoe on Head's jerking off mentards video, and his addition was, well, I remember there was this girl in my guild when I played WoW, and she used to brag about rubbing peanut butter on herself and letting her dog lick it off, and I thought that was really weird.
That's
And I'm
disgusting.
just like, yes, that's really weird, Asmongold. You know, like he seems so innocent sometimes.
No, the most innocent guy on the internet, I think, is still Meat Canyon.
Meat Canyon.
Yep.
Shut up. If he named himself Meat Canyon, he's not allowed to claim innocence.
I believe
that's
For
like,
anything ever.
it's
I
like
believe he's a youth pastor.
it's like my online persona.
For what
is
religion?
Patrick
Jesus
Williams.
Christ.
I don't know. I just watched the unsubscribe video when they had him on, both live in Vegas and in the studio.
You shall refer to me from now on as Oyster Ditch.
George times 2.
And I shall refer to you as the Bearded Clam.
It's the name of the government in Turkey during the 1920s that genocided the Armenians. Yeah, all those young girls on the crosses.
Yeah. They also like to put Christians in barrels of water to drown because it was a mockery of baptism.
I mean, I'm really not a fan of Turkey. And it wasn't anything that you said or we, as a group of streamers, did. It was just my exposure to the Turkish in '94 when we turned over the McCandless to them. And I had to deal with them on a day-to-day basis in interpersonal situations, which I just didn't find comfortable.
You ever been to a Turkish prison there, Billy?
Pretty odd. They had one room. They put one room in the fucking barge. They gave it a red light. It was supposed to be just a pump room with a red light, auxiliary light on all the time. That turned into their fuck room. And they were fucking like these young kids that they brought over because they're like, it's part of their culture. I was not saying anything about their culture. Here they are in Texas, fucking these 15 and 12-year-old boys. Like, that's disgusting.
Well, anyway, we've all heard that.
I'm sorry.
Let's pretend we didn't know these horrible things. Even though we do, we definitely do know these horrible things.
Yes, unfortunately.
And we ran Bear off. Bear's like, F this. I am not
Bear's
being
out.
affiliated with any of this shit. Not that I blame him at all, you know. It's like calling your show the Brown Shirts. Yeah. The Young Turks is basically like calling your show. Oh, welcome to the Brown Shirts. We do progressive news.
Or calling your political show Crystal Knock.
Yeah, Crystal Knock. But you got to make sure you've got like a Jewish lady on the panel.
Oh, for sure.
Because
You didn't run me off. I had to take a piss, and I have to learn to leave my headset behind next time I go because it's really hard to piss listening to you guys.
You're laughing that hard, huh?
Another day.
Meat Canyon, oyster fish, bearded clams, and then Bruce with the racism. Hey,
I'm not with the racism.
you are so. Yeah. The Turks, I don't like when they do this. The Turk, you sound exactly like my dad. It's great.
Well, I will say this. I had to train with Jordanians, and they do that too.
Yeah.
Like every
And they look-
Jordanian
and
unit,
listen, and I agree.
has like a little guy there.
And I agree with you. I'm not saying it's wrong.
It's terrible.
Right. It's wrong. But there's shit we do that they then go, fucking leave these white people. They were doing this fucking. That's disgusting.
Yeah, we eat mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise is good.
That pisses them off. Mayonnaise and ham. They get all mad. But you know what we don't do? We don't keep an underage guy chained to our tent.
Well, Shadow.
Hey, no. Never happened. Not even once.
Again, you think he doth protest too much.
Yeah, it never happened because he don't have a tent. He's got a basement.
Hey! Technicality.
Because Shadow ain't into dudes. That's why.
No. Shadow is into dudes. It's okay.
You know what would be horrible?
What? Shadow? Naked
No.
in your room?
Kinda. We're sitting here talking about Shadow's bullshit, right? And then,
Yeah.
like, let's say 2 years from now, like, the FBI starts digging up Shadow's, like, crawl space. and it turns into a John Wayne Gacy situation. He's got like 40 corpses under there. And then we'll all be sitting here thinking, oh my God.
No, there would be
really
a
wild,
massive
you know?
there would be a massive lawsuit because there would never be anything like that ever found. Because
I should hope so,
And I would be a
Shadow, but I'm just
multi-millionaire.
saying, you never know when you're talking to a serial killer.
This is true.
And I picked you out of the bunch. Mainly because you live in the deserts of California, and that just screams serial killer to me.
Yeah, it's not as deserty as you might think.
Okay, maybe it's because you live in California, and that just
There's
screams
that,
serial killer.
Yeah, then no.
The only way you could be more serial killery is if you lived like in Oregon.
Or if you lived actually in an organ, that would be really serious.
That would be really
that would be that's wow.
And if
I'm
not
far
Oregon,
too
we got to
lazy
go
to
to
do
the
that
next
shit.
biggest state for serial killers, which I believe is Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Or
See, I would
Milwaukee.
have to give
Yeah,
a shit
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
and be willing to like go outside or do things. So, yeah.
And I
Well,
made
of course
mistake
you can
earlier.
let him go outside and do stuff. You know you're the only serial killer in the area.
No, I don't. That's what scares me. That's one of the reasons why I don't go outside. I've met my neighbors, and any one of them could qualify.
The odds of there being two in the area.
On an earlier stream with you, I said something like, there's
Yeah.
more Medal of Honor guys in Wisconsin than anywhere else. I stand corrected. It's actually New York State.
Really? New York State has more serial killers?
Medal of Honor recipients.
The exact opposite.
Still Wisconsin?
I mean, they're endorsed serial killers.
Oh, okay.
Not the same thing, Bruce.
No.
Because, I mean, shit. Gaines, I think.
Ramirez,
Well, Ramirez was a Californian.
Bundy.
I think another Midwesterner, Bundy. But he did a lot of his work in Florida and California.
Shadow is the real Night Stalker.
The most successful. If you're talking about that pair of guys that ran around claiming they did a bunch of shit, those guys were lying.
The Hillside Strangler, is that what you're talking about?
No, that guy's New York. There was a
No,
pair.
that was California.
basically-
No, Hillside Stranger's L.A.
Is that
Yeah.
LA? Okay, I'm thinking of
And it was two guys, wasn't it?
the other Strangler that was in New York. There's these two inbreds that drove around basically saying they killed people all over America. When they eventually got caught, it turned out that they did kill like a couple of people, like 2 or 3, but
Pad in the numbers.
it wasn't like
See, I don't get team serial killers. Okay, I could take one person. Okay, they're crazy. How do you meet somebody? I mean, how does that come up?
Well, you know.
You know what I like to do every now and then? Go get a hooker and chop her up and put her in a big drum and bury
Well,
her.
have you ever tried
too.
feeding to the gators? No, I've never tried that. Well, you should look into it. Well, why don't you?
Well,
show
you'd be
me? All right,
surprised
then.
how many
no, I've
man
never
and
heard
woman
of
teams there are as
Arkansas.
well. You'd be
How many what,
amazed
Shadow?
how many men and women teams there are, if you will.
Well, you know, I understand
couples.
that you prefer. I know you like that, but I thought you were mostly only filming 2 men at the same time.
Shadow,
You also
come
do men and
on.
women
Why you,
too as
why
well?
you gotta?
Because it's a thing.
yourself?
Well, I know it's a thing, but I thought your market was 2 guys, not or more, 2
No,
or more
no
guys.
guys whatsoever. Not into
I
dudes.
don't know. I've seen the movies, and I got that
What
casting
movies?
call.
Bring them up. Bring them up.
Listen. I
I
have
need
to
a
say,
link.
I have to say, the camera techniques you used in Butt Busting Buddies was very good, but the story in Butt Busting Buddies 2, chef's kiss.
Uh-huh.
I was
I think my
really
favorite
Pull up the
was
link.
Home
Come
Alone
on,
2,
let's see
the
it.
KY Connection.
KY Connection, I don't know. I don't think it's his best work, but it's certainly his most avant-garde.
What's up, Bubba?
Yeah, avant-garde.
What's up, Bubba?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
that was a
Bubba-
hell of a
Bubba
film.
walked
What's
in
up,
us
Bubba?
accusing Shadow of being
That is a series I think you can make a
Damn.
lot of money on. What's up, Bubba?
Wow.
Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. Bubba
Poor
in New
Bubba.
York. Yeah.
Well, we had to get a new Bubba after 3.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what happens when you venture into snuff, you fucking psycho.
Ew. I'll tell you, a movie that effed me up for like a year and a half was 8mm.
Yes,
Really?
that movie
It was
fucked
so
up.
weak. That movie was so weak.
When it first came out, it was.
I
pretty-
saw it in the theater. It was weak.
Oh, really?
I was like, this is fucking annoying.
Well, for me,
I was like,
Bear,
oh
quit
my
trying
God.
to groom a cub, sweetheart, darling, sweetie.
Bear,
darling.
quit trying to groom.
Bear, when
If I was gonna groom, it sure as fuck wouldn't be Shadow, because that's like throwing a fucking hot dog down a corridor. Just
and I'm like, what, 8 years older than you, 6 years older than you?
Yeah, he's also way too
Oh.
old.
No, come on now. I don't discriminate based on age.
But Bear, when I saw that,
I
movie,
discriminate based on penis. If you have one, I'm not interested. Thank you. Good night.
Ditto, right back at you. When I
Yeah,
saw
no,
8
it's still not
millimeter,
true.
when I saw 8mm, we had just finished a situation.
Burying the bodies.
No, where we came across an actual in process film of that nature.
There is no recorded snuff film in history at all. That is a fact. The FBI has investigated them. They've all turned out to
And
be
the,
either
yeah,
fakes, staged, or other things.
Okay, you're gonna tell me that I never saw what I saw?
No, what you
Yep.
saw was probably staged or faked, because there are no legitimately known snuff films, not films of people being killed. That's different.
Oh, I'm glad
But
you
the
brought
idea
that
of
up, 'cause
producing-
I was getting ready to actually your ass.
But a film produced for the commercial sale of murder and wholesale.
Yeah,
like that,
what do you mean by
doesn't
commercial?
exist.
So this
sale?
is an untapped market, you're saying?
I'm saying it is a very untapped market.
I like
Now,
the way you think.
hang on. That statistic is over 20 years old, so who knows what this crazy generation has done since? Because the internet. generation
This was in
fucking
the
insane.
80s. And what do you mean by commercial?
i.e., for distribution and sale.
he means,
i.e.,
making a movie
making
of
money.
horrible shit to sell for
To
money
make money.
on the dark web.
Right. From my experience, from what I've learned over the course of that period of time, it wasn't commercial, so to speak. It was
Then
usually
it's not a snuff film. It's just a documentation of a crime. A snuff film is a very specific thing. It is a film produced for the purposes of sale of the murder and torture of an individual.
right.
That's what a snuff film is.
In an 8mm, the rich man had paid to have one done.
Exactly.
And that's exactly all the instances of my experience. That's exactly what it was. How many times it was duplicated, I don't know.
And
But-
then, of course, the greatest American actor of the last 100 years had to solve the issue. And of course, I'm talking
Nicolas
about Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is not the greatest actor. of the
Nicolas
last
Cage is one of the
100
best
years.
actors
He's
ever.
barely one of the actors.
You guys, shut your
I
whore mouth.
love his movies, but he's barely an actor.
Look, do you think you could stand around in a bloody t-shirt in your whitey tighty swigging vodka and screaming for 15 minutes and make it interesting? I
Oh,
doubt
you
it.
mean me- you
No,
mean
you
me-
had to run until the
you
interesting
mean me
part.
during the 90s. What the fuck? That's nothing.
Yeah, seriously, that's just how he
We
gets
just
up in
called
the
that
morning.
Tuesday. We just called that
Yeah.
Tuesday.
That's what it's called, the tear down of a set for him. All right, get rid of the
Any
bodies.
day
let me
ending
get
in
drunk.
Y in the 90s.
See, there he
I
is.
mean,
He's saying,
you know.
and then they said, "Oh, I don't make movies about people that I then kill." No,
You know,
I've never-
this reminds me of when John Larroquette was on Saturday Night Live, and they
Never
were
made a
asking him to get all the evidence.
Been
'cause he
in
was a
movies, but I've never made
investigator. And so he's grabbing like an eyelash with a pencil, like put it down like that, and grabbing the eyelash, and they bag it. And then there's a guy laying on the floor. I could just see Shadow, like, I can't move this guy with my pencil. Let me just put the point into him. I'll pry him over. And the guy's still alive up until that point. And they're like, shit.
Yep, I agree. Mandy,
I've never heard of
Pig,
any of those
Long
movies.
Legs, Willy's Wonderland. Nicolas Cage has been fucking killing it lately.
Yeah, he's done really good lately. But 8mm.
I've never even heard of any of those movies.
Mandy.
Well, yeah.
Then I
Gone
guess you're not
Face.
as hipsterish as you think.
I don't watch TV. I don't watch any actual TV. I watch YouTube. I watch you guys.
I got some news for you. Unless you're looking at cable, you're not going to see any of those movies on normal TV.
Well, I mean, watch a TV. You know, anything coming out of a TV.
Well, that's your fault. Because, like in Mandy, a cult steals his girlfriend and kills her, and he goes in a berserk rage. awesome.
It's a
Okay.
And
best.
also, there's
axe.
some weird demonic bikers involved. And
With
then
an
a pig,
axe.
someone steals his truffle snorting pig. So he has to go, do some revenge there. And in Longlegs, he may be the devil or working directly for the devil. It's pretty freaky.
You mean in the movie?
Yes. And then, of course, in Willy's Wonderland, he's just a quiet guy that gets stuck into a abandoned Chuck E. Cheese and beats the fuck out of all the demonically possessed animatronics.
So Five Nights at Freddy's.
Except
ripoff?
better.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, Five Nights at Freddy's was crap.
Okay, I got a bolt, guys. I didn't sleep last night. So I'm
Okay,
gonna
bolt
crash.
away.
I
Take
shall-
care, Doc.
Yeah, I got a bolt too because my show starts in
shit.
15 minutes.
All right. Good luck to your show. I'll probably catch it later.
Good luck to your show.
Yeah, I'm doing a show but later.
Bye, Bear. Remember, I will open up a PayPal for you to make sure you get bread.
So
I got to split two guys. The
You
boys
suck.
could be home any minute, but I will see you guys tomorrow or later tonight or what have
It's
you.
okay. Me and Bruce can just sit here. We'll be
Paint
racist.
miniatures. I haven't painted anything all month, but I got a really neat thing coming in. I'll share with you guys as soon as it gets here.
Okay.
For Brian, you guys know Brian's doing a weird World War II Halloween challenge.
Yep.
Paint something Halloweenish or horror or World War II or a mix thereof, and send him an image, and he'll flash it on his show when he does the review of everything.
That is cool of him. And I hate every
mini-
single thing that he put down as a thing you can compete in.
Mini War Much Challenge was pretty awesome too.
I
A lot
don't.
of
Mini
work-
War Mutt is awesome.
Yes, he is.
I don't like
Okay,
Halloween,
I'll see you in a bit.
and I don't celebrate Halloween ever at all. I don't like World War II, and yeah,
You'll still
What-
participate.
why do you not like World War II, James?
bored of it.
All right, guys, I'll let him take care of this, and I'm gonna
Catch you later.
prep for the boy. Take care, guys.
Yeah, I'm bored of it. I mean, we've had more shit about World War II than World War II. We have been making video games about World War II for about 20 times longer than World War II went on. And plus all the war games and all that shit, which I got heavy into for a minute. And then one day I woke up and I said, you know what? Fuck all this. I'm not interested anymore. I don't care. Now, I do say that as a guy that's got like a huge fleet of American and Japanese World War II ships that I've been working on. Like this one here, I think I showed you. I got to put the red dots on it yet, but the Akagi. The green planes are the Val dive bombers. And then, of course, Zeros. But I just could give a shit less about any of it. Now, Mini War Mutt guy, he does some great videos, or at least he used to, on Oathmark and shit like that. That guy is cool. I like all his stuff. But weird World War II, that is like the least interesting thing to me. He doesn't like stories where the good guys lost. That's funny because I was on Double D's thing quoting or typing. I was in his crowd, right? And they were trying to sell that World War II game that whoever made. And I paid like the $5 to ask the question, can you be the Germans? So he had to read it. And he's like, I'm sure you could. And the reason is I was thinking if I were ever going to play in a campaign based on World War II, I would want it to be the Eastern Front, and I would want to play Germans in Stalingrad. Now, we all know how that shit ends, but that would be way more interesting because kind of like how when I did play Flames of War and Bolt Action and Command and Control and all that, I always played Eastern Front. And I think the reason is, Bruce, and you can call me crazy here, and I'll be okay with it if you want to, I cannot stand the idea of Americans dying. So even when I'm playing the airborne unit I made, I don't like seeing my soldiers getting killed, right? But if I play Eastern Front, so you've got Soviets on one side and Nazis on the other, right? Then it's like, who gives a F, right? You can have fun, right? You can just enjoy it because I have no emotional connection. And of course, I really screwed myself because the army I painted up, not the airborne, but the American infantrymen, during World War II, the 7th Infantry Regiment was part of the 3rd Armored or 3rd Infantry Division, which is the white square with blue stripes. And of course, I painted my entire unit up to be, you know, the 7th Infantry, right? Which is the unit I was in. And I was really pleased with them until they died. And then I was not pleased because I was just like, yeah, fuck this. I don't like this at all. So yeah, that's the thing, Bruce. Call me a crazy person. It's okay.
You're good. I was just curious why you don't like it. Everybody else is getting hard on about it right now. You, no, not at all. Pass.
Pass.
Yeah.
Yep. Because of what I said, you know? Like, I'm the kind of guy that while I have watched Saving Private Ryan, that first 15 minutes of the show, I'm all like, what the, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, that is not cool. I especially feel bad for the poor guys that just drowned. What a horrible way to go out. You're landing on an enemy beach and you just get drug under by your own LBE. I mean, which is load-bearing equipment for you Navy guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just horrible, right? And also, it adds another wrinkle because I'm like 50 or 60% German. So it's like my grandparents fought in World War II, a couple of them, but so did maybe some other grandparents, you know what I mean? But on the other side. So like, that whole thing is just like effed up to me. I don't want any part of it, you know? Now, Soviets dying doesn't bother me at all because they're a bunch of satanic commies and I really don't care who kills them. You know? And my family had already fled Russia way before World War II. So, and, you know, when they fled Russia, it was the empire of Russia, not the fucking scummy Soviet bullshit.
Agreed.
So, you know. Now, there are some games I used to love a lot, like War Machine and stuff like that. But no one around here plays them, so, you know. So you see what I'm doing right now. I'm painting Blood Angels Rhinos. Each one can carry like half a squad of tactical Marines. I'll be running them up somebody's ass. Yeah, the great battle against communism in the East. I don't disagree. My only problem with that, though, is National Socialism is like just communism with some extra racism thrown on, you know? It's like Soviet communism was globalist and expansionist, and German communism was nationalist and more about Das Vaterland. But they were both collective in the end. I mean, these people who try to tell you that Nazism was a right-wing philosophy, they're full of shit. They're both based around leftist ideologies and freaking, you know, government control and I just said the word, starts with a C. Collectivism. The main difference is the Germans threw the race angle on and the Soviets didn't. But, you know. They're the same shit, so whatever, right?
Not whatever, but kind of close.
I mean, you know. And this so-called fascism that everyone hates, that was El Duce shit. And it was totally different than Adolf shit. Even though Adolf liked it, they did not go about shit the same way. You know, El Duce basically believed in unionization and like all this kind of stuff and strong central control and destroying crime and blah, blah, blah. Whereas Adolf, he believed that basically the government would tell the business what they could or could not make at any time. And, you know, hell, they went so far that for a while there, when you had a child, you had to name it from a very select set of names that the government had chosen, and no biblical names were on the list. So Jacob, Peter, Paul, all that shit was right out. You had to name them what these idiots had decided were the traditional Germanic names. So Hans, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because one thing a lot of people don't know about the NSDP is they hated Christianity. As a matter of fact, in his own writings, Mustache Man said how much he wished the Germans would be more like the Muslims because Christians are soft and the Muslims are not. And one of his biggest allies in World War II was the Grand Mufti of Palestine, who is the only non-German who ever got to lead German troops in battle. Oh, yeah. Adolf and crew were huge fans of the Islam. Huge fans. Because they loved how it could control people. And, you know, they didn't much care for Christianity because there were just certain things Christians will not do. And, you know, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. But, yeah, World War II Germans, pretty much all of the Arab countries were allied with them, including Iraq. I mean, Saddam Hussein's grandfather tried to have a rebellion to run the English out because he wanted to ally with the Germans, but then the British showed up with a freaking vengeance, you know, the way they do, and started just putting ass whippings on everybody. But yeah, like from Iran all the way to Jordan, all the way to Palestine, all the way to all of them, they were all pro broomstick mustache guy, every one of them. So, of course, so were the Irish. And that is why in Archer, Mallory, Archer's mom, hates the Irish so bad. Because she was an undercover agent during World War II. And that's why she refers to them as potato-headed savages and stuff like that. But anyway.
Oh, I like my new light.
Yeah, your new light looks awesome. And it looked like you were painting like a column, but a bookshelf. That looked cool.
That's off of Loot Studios.
Yeah, you know, because one thing is that the whole right-left dichotomy was created during the French Revolution. But the problem is, during the French Revolution, neither side was right. They were both left. And it was just like, which one's more left than the other, right? And somehow that become the basis of how we judge political parties. But it's completely effed up and wrong, you know? It's more like a grid or maybe even a horseshoe. I mean, you know, it's like you see the grid and it's got like authoritarian left, authoritarian right, and then liberal right, liberal left. And then you figure out where you are as a dot within that frame. And that's a lot more accurate. Like me, I am mostly liberal right, but I'm right on the border of authoritarian right. But I'm super far away from left. So I'm like as far right as you can be, but not necessarily authoritarian right. So yeah. But I'm close. And that makes me what some people would call a Hoppian. Hoppians, who are often associated with a black snake on a yellow flag, they're the ones that believe in basically anarcho-capitalism unless the nation is threatened, at which point the nation becomes authoritarian and militarist. But then as soon as the threat to the nation is over, you go back to being anarcho-capitalist. Yet divide the livestock, not only divide the livestock, but train some of the livestock to be hounds. That's an Animal Farm, actually. You know, when Nero kidnapped the dog's puppies and raised them to pretty much be his KGB.
Sorry, James, I had to mute my microphone for a second.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of what you said. You know, we don't study enough about Nero.
Well, I was talking about Nero the pig from Animal Farm.
You know,
But
I need to
at
research
the same
that.
time, you're not wrong.
Well, no, he was based on the piece of shit.
He was based on Stalin.
I thought he was always based on Nero, the Roman emperor.
Nope. Nero in Animal Farm was Stalin. The old pig that died in the beginning was Marx.
Okay.
And the white pig that Nero killed was Trotsky. And the whole book, Animal Farm, is just about the rise of the Soviet Union and how hypocritical it was. Like with the all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than other animals. And then when Nero decided to take all the chickens' eggs and they got mad, but then he sent in the dogs to pretty much, you know, wipe out any of the chickens that stood up to him. And then there was another farm down the way, and he was really bad because he would throw unwanted puppies into an incinerator. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a allegory for you know, Adolf. And you know, maybe Stalin. Well, Stalin wasn't his name. That's one thing. Stalin is actually Russian for man of steel, or steel man, Iron Man. And prior to the Soviet takeover of Russia, he was a bank and train robber who had a gang, and they would rob banks and trains, but then they would give the money to the Communist Party to help keep it financed. You know, so Lenin got the money. And basically through that sort of behavior, he kind of earned his way into the inner circle, which ended really bad because, I mean, we can debate whether Stalin murdered Lenin or not. It is awful interesting that, you know, dude caught a cold and dropped dead. But we know for a fact that he ran Trotsky into the ground and killed him because he could not stand Trotsky, right? And then he began all of his purges, and, you know, the rest is history.
Good history lesson.
Yeah.
Good history lesson.
Yeah. He wasn't even Russian. As a matter of fact, when he spoke Russian, most Russians had a hard time understanding him because he was Georgian, but he spoke Russian with such a thick Georgian accent that, yeah, a lot of Russians couldn't understand a word he said, really. You know. If you're looking for ethnicity, Stalin would be Turkmen. Yeah, he'd been Turkic. Is everything all right, my love?
Now I'm going to take my leave. My discovery on this light's good. You guys have a good night, okay?
We didn't really need it, of course.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right?
Right. Be nice to your neighbors. All right, Bruce. Now that I've, bored you, you can leave too.
I didn't mean to get bored. I was testing my light and you were here. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
God bless
It's
you.
Monday. This is the day. So those of you looking at the camera, now that it's even bigger, you can see I've got a few units of rhinos. They're going to be carrying some Space Marines. And of course, I've got a few units of Predators because, you got to have some tanks to back up your rhinos. Some of these rhinos are facing the wrong direction. And I'm probably going to do some decorations on the rhinos in black. Like do the headlights. The covering over the headlight will be black, but the headlights themselves, I'll do yellow. There's one of them I've already done where I did the side door in black. Because Blood Angels did have a tendency of painting a lot of their rhinos with a nice contrasting black for some reason, unless it was a command unit, in which case they would go with gold. Now, the good news is I have so many of the extra small Blood Angels chapter symbols from, collecting Marines over all the years that I'm going to be able on every rhino is going to have a winged teardrop on the back hatch. So, it'll be pretty obvious who they are. If it isn't already, well, I guess, no, this is 30K. So somebody could be like, is that a Word Bearers army? Is that like 1,000 Suns? And I'd be like, no. Of course, it could have been interesting, I guess, if I just painted them all slate gray, but then flicked like a real thin down red on them and called them Legion 9, the Reavers, or the Gray Reavers, or whatever they were called. Which that's deep lore because originally Legion 9 was called the Reavers or the Gray whatever, but also they were called the Flesh Eaters. And the Emperor of Mankind was already in the process to have them exterminated. But then luckily, they encountered Sanguinius, and Sanguinius straightened them out and told them to stop being a bunch of douchebags. To quote Pickles the drummer, hey, why you gotta be a bunch of douchebags, eh? But anyway, yeah. Because without their Primarch, the 9th Legion was given to all of their worst predilections. And that meant, massacres, killing their own allies, eating people, drinking blood. Yeah, the Emperor was like, yeah, we probably need to kill these son of a bitches. They're crazy. But Sanguinius saved them. And he did it by, he split all of his companies up and he assigned them to other legions for like a couple years. And then when he brought them all together, he had them paint their armor red instead of, blood specked, disgusting gray. And he gave them the chapter symbol instead of just the Roman numeral 9. And they had won the respect of their brothers. So now it was no longer, you no longer had Rogel Dorn trying to convince the Emperor to fucking exterminate him, right? Because that's Rogel Dorn's whole gig. He's like, oh, you're a little different than us? Extermination for you. Also, he trained them in poetry and art and sculpting and all that in the hopes that they would spend their time doing that instead of focusing on wanting to eat people and shit. And that is how the Blood Angels become the most artistic, enlightened chapter, really. But underneath all that enlightenment and everything, there's still monsters that want to eat you. They do their best to hide it. But it's still there. There. I should probably copy that. What's it? So that if any of you are interested, because maybe you are interested. See, now that Bear's stuck off to do his own show here in like nonstop, do it. Unless you guys want to talk about something else. I mean, there's always the morning glory, you know, tons of shit we could talk about. Huh? And there I am. I had to reload the page for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, I did these guys with the twin laser heavy bolter kit out. And then this squad is auto pistol heavy bolter. I do have another couple of these to build. And I don't know, maybe I'll go with Annihilator, you know, with the twin lasers with lasers and sponsons and all that sort of thing. But let's see, how many Predator squadrons do I have? One yet to build. And then I've got a Sakaran squadron to build. And then more rhinos, geez. Land Raider Proteus, not great. I definitely would have rather had, well, maybe they're in the box. I haven't looked in the main box in a while because I've been so busy working on the Imperial Guardsmen. And maybe the box has some Land Raider Spartans. You kind of need them if you're going to like transport Terminators around the battlefield. And one thing about me is you boy, me, and you guys that watch the show ever know that I am big time into mechanized everything. You know, mech infantry is my thing. And like every single war game I ever play, I find myself drawn to mech infantry, whether it's like bolt action. I was playing Panzer Grenadiers with Hanemags, supported by Stoogs. I had an American infantry company mounted in half track, supported by Shermans. You know, just the whole mechanized infantry thing is just kind of my gig. You know what I mean? Now I'm going to start building some stuff and see what happens. Maybe I'll go like spy on Bear's channel and see what he's doing and then put it up on my channel. I've done that before. Bruce liked when I did it. He thought it was cool, you know, like, because I basically put him in the background and commented on what he was doing. Velvet Red. That's right. This is a very dark red. Vallejo Express. I was going to build some stuff, and then I looked over and I was like, you know, all of these freaking drop pods, right, that I have, Like none of them are actually near all the way painted. And then I thought, okay, the first drop pod I did the fins on it in black, right? But now I'm thinking, screw that. Maybe I'll just do them all red because, Blood Angels, right? They're just going to be red, especially since the open drop pods would look weird if they were all black and you didn't see any red. So, yeah. Unfortunately for me, these drop pods cannot carry dreadnoughts. I mean, yep. I call them Imperial Guard, the Solar bullshittery, whatever, because why can't we just call them Imperial Guard? Yeah, I have a shit ton of transports for them. They haven't arrived yet, but I have them. They're the, what's the name of? They're basically the Malkador tank, but converted to carry a shit ton of infantry. And yeah, so when they get here, I'll have 8 of them, and each one of them has like a very high transport number. So, if I want to build a squad with some flamethrowers or plasma guys or veterans or whatever, I'll be able to transport them around. Now you've seen, Gigi, yeah, you've seen the fact that I've got a duo of Thunderbolts or Thunderhawks. I mean, Thunderbolts, go. No. So those guys have a pretty hefty transport thing too. In addition, they can, towards certain units, be just absolute, death. And with their giant laser destructor that's mounted on them, they can even threaten super heavies and titans and stuff. I mean, they can't take a beating. They only got like 2 wounds, but still, it's a flying vehicle. It can carry a shit ton of troops, and it's got just tons of weapons on it, just tons and tons, HK missiles. It's got 6 HK missiles. It's got 2 twin-linked heavy bolters, and it's got a demolisher or laser destructor mounted on the top. Here it is. And then it's got other weapons on it too, like it's got some las cannons mounted on the side. So, I mean, yeah, this bad boy is ready to do some stuff. I said, here it is, and put it on the table. Oh, there he is. Yeah, you can see him now. Yeah, so a pair of these guys with the right formation, just ripping in and dropping Terminators right on top of my opponent. Well, it may not be fair or fun for my opponent, but it might be fair and fun for me. No, they cannot accommodate like a Predator. They're not like the 1 vehicles that the old Epic had that actually could transport tanks around and shit. But they can transport a shit ton of infantry, like basically half of a company or so of infantrymen. So yeah, you can definitely. The best way to use them, in my opinion, is if there's an objective in the middle of the table with a building nearby, some kind of terrain you can stick infantry in to hold. Just whip up as quick as you can, dump the infantry, and then use the Thunderbolt, or the Thunderhawk, since, I mean, it's a transport, but it doesn't have to stay within range of the troops it's transporting, and just use that to hunt and kill enemy armor, harass, small titans and knights, stuff like that. I mean, one thing about this game, I don't know if you have it, but if you wanted to field an army of just like Air Force, you could do it. I mean, the Space Marines got like a fighter class, a ship that's like, like a little F-16 type thing. And then they've got the Storm Eagle, which can be taken as a ground attack craft or transport. And it don't transport as much as a Thunderhawk, obviously, but still. They're much cheaper to field, so you can field numbers of them. And yeah, with Space Marines, Loyalist or Trader, you could literally it may be with the right loadout, you could field an entire army that's all mounted in flyers. Like I use this army builder online for this game, so I'm constantly messing around with builds and stuff. And yeah, you can 100% build an army where all of your infantry is mounted on Storm Eagles or freaking Thunderhawk or Thunderhawks or whatever, and just be like zoom. Kind of like you can do a whole mechanized thing if you want. Mount all of your troops in Rhinos or Land Raiders. And if you're Imperial Guard, of course, you've got the Daedalus or whatever it's called, which is, super heavy transport. If you really wanted to, not that I would, you could build an army and mount a bunch of your Space Marines in a Mammoth transport. That's like the really big freaking Space Marine transport. But yeah, or if you want to buy a shit ton of boxes of these things and build them, you could build an army where the entire army is drop pods. Kind of like in normal 40K, how, you could do a drop pod army. You can do it in this too. It's just, the scale's different, but it's the same thing. You're going to drop pod all of your assault Marines all over the place and drop pod tactical Marines on top of objectives. And it helps that you can add missile launchers and plasma gunners to your tactical squads. So, if they run into armor or anything like that, you at least have a way to deal with it. These open flowers, see, I'm going to paint them red like that. And then, of course, all the mechanical parts will be metallic. And yeah, that'll basically be that. That is one good thing about painting Blood Angels, is it is kind of easy because red is an easy color to paint. You know what I mean? Typically red paints, they go on really easy. They've got like nice pigment. You can do some really cool effects by starting with a dark red and then dry brushing up to a lighter red. And that can give you some real depth, Like my Lamenter Space Marines who were yellow, screw that, man. Screw that. I don't think I won't ever do that again, but it's like all the guys who are getting into 30K and they're getting into like Imperial Fist. They're like, it's like, what, are you just a masochist? I mean, you're painting everything. It's kind of the same as anybody who gets into the game and they're like, I want to play the freaking, who is it? Jagatai Khan's guys. And it's like, so you want to paint white? Get the hell out of here, man. Yeah, red has great coverage. It's very forgiving, like how I'm touching it with my fingers. If I smudge a little bit of it here or there, it doesn't matter because, You know, it's so easy to fix, you know. White and yellow, no, thank you. No, thank you, sir. Now, if Hungar were building an army and he wanted to play his beloved Dark Angels, that would be pretty easy because pretty much most of the infantry would be painted black. And then his death squad guys or whatever would be painted, you know, a off-white bone color. And that's not too hard to do. And then, you know, you just pick out their bolt guns with like red or whatever, and they're done, you know. Paint their sergeant shoulders, you know, whatever color, the helmets, whatever color. So yeah, Dark Angels would be kind of easy in this game just because, I mean, black, you know, that's easy. Paint them black. Okay. You know, to quote the Stones, right? Paint it black. And yeah, that's not even an issue, you know? Yeah. White Scars. Totally right. I wouldn't want to paint any of the White Scars. If it's yellow or white, predominantly, I am not doing it again. Like I said, I had like 5,000 points of Lamenters way back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I will never do that to me again. That was absolute torture. Now, was it awesome to take it to my local comic shop and everybody freak out over my, you know, beautifully painted Lamenters? Yeah, that was kind of cool. But then again, now I got older and I realized that I really didn't give a shit what people thought. So when I started thinking, I don't care what people think of my paint jobs, then trying to be all impressive with my yellow paint job with the white and black checkerboard bullshit on the pauldron. No, I'm just painting everything red now. Blood red, or actually a dark red with a pyrrole red, bright pyrrole red highlight. And then I'll throw some wings and teardrops on it, or blood drops, and call it a day. And the people at the comic shop, they still love it. You know, you show up with a really nice painted Blood Angels army that was super easy to paint because you're using a lot of contrast and dry brush techniques. And, you know, you're still the man, especially since down here, you show up at just an average Saturday at the comic shop to play the game. And the majority of the armies are not even painted, you know. Dark Angels and Orcs. My brother's first was Dark Angels. Then he played Orcs. Then he played Chaos. And then he went back to Dark Angels. Whereas my first was Blood Angels. And then I went Imperial Guard. And yeah, I have currently, because I'm having a hard time wanting to sell them, but currently I have a couple thousand points of Armageddon Still Legion, a couple thousand points of Mordian Iron Guard, and then probably a couple hundred points of Metal Catechins, Metal Catechins, Metal Cadians, and Metal Praetorians, and Metal Talarni, Desert Fighters. And I think I've got a few squads of Valhallans too. Because there was a while where I was just buying up, you know, Metal Imperial Guardsmen, you know, because why not, right? But, and that's without even mentioning the 4,000 points of Death Corps of Krieg that I have, which I have some of them around here. I actually have a couple of them that I've painted. but I keep them near me because I'm still doing something to them. So, like, let's move him back. There's one of my Kriegsmen. Except that one, I think, must be an engineer because he's wearing the field gray jacket. And my standard line troopers are all wearing Horizon blue jackets. So he is a pioneer, which is just an engineer, a sapper, whatever. Yeah. So, and yes, I have just, as a matter of fact, with my Krieg army, I decided not to worry about chimeras or anything. I just went with shit tons of artillery. Christmas tournament. Yeah. I mean, I don't say anything to the guys at the comic shop when I show up and their shit's all still gray. Even though some of them have had their armies for, I mean, literally years. I'm just like, whatever, you know. I mean, because I don't know. I don't know what that guy does when he's not at the comic shop. Maybe he works like 100 hours a week, you know, and he just ain't got time. So I definitely prefer painted to non-painted, but I'm also super non-judgmental about the guys that show up with just their gray Space Marines or Tyranids or whatever, you know, because it's just like, I mean, they can't play in tournaments, though, because at my local comic shop, if you want to play in a 40K tournament, your army has to be painted, and every Marine has to have at least 3 colors. That's the bare minimum, 3 colors. So if I'm going to field my Blood Angels, it's easy because they're red, but they've got black on the pauldrons and gold and, you know, whatever colors I've decided to throw on them. So it's not hard, you know. Like my assault guys are wearing yellow helmets. My Devastator guys are wearing blue helmets. And, you know, then my command squad's got gold helmets. And if you're, I don't play Primaris. Even in 40K, I don't play Primaris. I play Old Guard guys. So that's why I was talking about, you know, Devastators, Assault Marines, etc. Which, I mean, the Primaris might actually be better, but I don't care, you know. For lore reasons, too. Because I'll tell you what, man, us 40K players, especially the hardcore guys, we take the lore like it's a religion, you know? And it's like all of us old schoolers who know the lore really well, we all know that there's no effing way the Emperor ever would allowed any of the Primarchs to try to improve upon his creation. Never. And Guilliman, being one of the most loyal Primarchs, definitely wouldn't have been caught up in that shit. So, I mean, the whole introduction of the Primarch Marines or the whatever Marines is just stupid, you know? It's stupid. It makes no sense. It goes directly against all lore. And I don't care for it one bit. You require the 3-color minimum. I think that's just the way it's been forever. That 3-color minimum thing. I think Games Workshop might have came up with that in like 2000 and it just become the thing, you know. I'll tell you, the guys who suffer are the Necron players. Because, you know, you've got metal, and then I guess you've got the green part of the gun. And if you want to be really skippy, you might have some gold trim or red eyes. Those boys don't get a whole lot of, you know, unless they're really imaginative. There is a guy that plays in my area, and his Necron army is painted like skeleton white. And it looks really good, actually, you know, instead of that typical, you know, metallic, whatever. His guys are, yeah, they're all bone white, and they got all the decorations on them and everything. And whereas if I were playing Necrons, I would want to play a list of nothing but the dudes that rip the flesh off of other beings and wear it. I don't know if you can play an army list of just those guys, but man, that's the guys I would want to play, you know, the diseased ones that, you know, they want their flesh back. Yeah, those guys, I've always thought their lore was kind of cool. Whereas the rest of the Necron lore is kind of stupid, you know. I don't really give a shit about because the thing with the Necron lore, right? They lived on a world near a star and they all got cancer and died in their 30s, right? But then they developed space travel and they journeyed to other worlds. So why did they all keep dying of space cancer? Right? I mean, if you're on another world that's not so close to such a radioactive sun and you're not constantly being bombarded by, you know, the radiation that's giving you space cancer, you would think after a couple of generations on this new world, you'd be all like, oh, what do you know? We're not dying of space cancer anymore. Yeah, the green is the plastic tubes they give you. The original Necrons, they did not give you some plastic tubes, and they were all metal. And then I did field a Sisters of, I want to say Mercy because I'm an idiot and I'm thinking of the rock band. But I painted all of mine white, which a lot of people were like, really? And I was like, yeah, I'm an idiot. But they all had like red trim, but their armor was white. So it made them kind of look like Hospitallers or something. But luckily it was a very small army, you know, and yeah, I never won a single game with it. So whatever. I'll be honest with you guys right now. I've never won very many games. Like sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I used to kick ass. But the reality is I am at best, at least at my local comic shop, I was at best middling. You know what I mean? At best middling, middle of the road, you know. Like I wasn't an easy win. No one ever, like when I put my army on the table, no one was ever like, oh, this is going to be an easy win. But at the same time, no one was like, oh shit, it's James and his Imperial Guardsmen, you know. And you guys have to remember, I was playing during like 4th and 5th and 6th edition era. So like Dark Elves, I'm playing my Imperial Guard. Dark Elves are completely wrecking my ass. Like just nonstop, you know? Because that's back when the Dark Elves had that rule where you could like field your whole army off the table, except for one death sled, as I call them. And then that death sled could move forward and drop a gate, and then your entire army could then assault through the gate. So basically, my Imperial Guard strength, which is they got to walk across the battlefield to get to me, and I'm going to try and gun them down, right? Vanished. Because as soon as the Dark Elves dropped the gate, now I've got a bunch of witches and incubi just completely up my rectum, and nothing I can do about it. Because they're coming directly out of the gate into assault. And then, of course, if they wipe out one unit, they get to move and engage the next unit. And that means since they're engaged in melee combat, I can't shoot at them. And there's just, let's be honest here, there's just no way in hell standard Imperial Guardsmen are ever going to beat, you know, like a bunch of witch elves. It's just not happening, you know. And that's basically what would happen. And even though I did have some tanks and stuff, I mean, when every squad of witch elves has a, what they call a disruptor, which is basically their version of a melt-a-gun, but better. Yeah, it's all like, well, this is cool. This is nice. Kind of like the little dog sitting in the burning room. You're like, this is nice. I'm okay with this. And one of the main guys I always ended up playing against at that comic shop played Dark Elves. Of course he played Dark Elves, right? And when he didn't play Dark Elves, he played Space Wolves with that shitty character that allowed one of the Space Wolf scout squads to just enter the table from any side. And of course, he'd enter the table from directly behind my Land Raiders. And then their Power Fists and Melt-A-Guns would start destroying Land Raiders. And then now what? I'm going to fight a bunch of Wolfguard and Terminator armor with a bunch of lads. I mean, I might kill a couple of guys over the course of the game, but in reality, no, it was over. You know, it was over. It was never going anywhere. So, yeah. Yeah, that would have helped. It didn't exist, I don't think, in 4th edition or 5th edition. I don't remember it. So, yeah. I do know in later editions you could buy like fortifications and stuff, which I guess could be really cool. But yeah, it was that same shit every time. Death Sled charges across the table, drops gate, his entire army comes through the gate and is immediately in melee combat with my guardsmen, who, you know, have a lower initiative, a lower weapon skill, a lower everything. And, you know, of course, I did have a game once against this guy's Space Wolves. And he charged one of my commissars with a named dreadnought, like Fjord or Fjorn or whatever. It was a named character dreadnought. And my commissar killed it. And he was just like, what? And I was just like, what? I mean, the commissar had a plasma pistol and a power fist. He thought it'd be easy because if he hit me and wounded me, I'm just automatically dead. You know what I mean? Because his strength is so much higher than my toughness. But every time he hit me, I made that 5+ freaking invulnerable save. And then I'd attack him back because I always had to attack last because of the power fist. And, you know, I'd end up power fisting that guy and ripping shit off. And that battle went like 3 rounds. And in the end, old Bjorn freaking Thundercaller or whatever the hell his name was a dead piece of scrap. And the commissar had killed him. And then a Space Wolf scout ran up with like a chainsword and killed my commissar. So, you know, whatever. And then we had another guy. God, I hated playing this guy. His entire army was nothing but Terminators. Like, the command squad was Terminators. Everything in his army was Terminators. And he had units of Terminators with Cyclone missile launchers. And back then, you know, the Cyclone missile launcher was like a normal Space Marine missile launcher, except it got to attack twice. So, you know, it's like, get the F out of here, you know. That army is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I felt bad because I was the only guy there who would play against that guy. You know what I mean? Like, because Saturdays would come around and man, the comic shop would be blasting full of people. You know, there'd be like 30 people there, you know. Some of them just showed up to hang out and paint miniatures, and some of them showed up to game and whatever. But this guy, who was an attorney in real life, I believe, and he wasn't a bad guy. He just had this freaking super min-maxed army. And like all of the other guys that showed up to game on Saturdays would not play him. So it always came to me to be the nice guy and be like, all right, I'll play you. And no matter what I played, he would just stomp those Terminators across the field, and I might get lucky and kill a couple of them. But ultimately, he would win, and it was always because of those Cyclone missile launchers. It was never anything else, you know? It was just the fact that he had 20 Terminators with Cyclone missile launchers. That's 40 missile launcher shots per round. So if I wanted to play Imperial Guard, he would just completely demolish my armor. If I played Space Marines, he would demolish whatever armor I had and then start shooting missile launchers directly at Space Marines. Actually, those were the only armies I had. So I don't know, though. If he were ever still around and he wanted to play like a 5th edition game and I was allowed to play my Death Korps of Krieg army, I'd do it. Mainly because my Death Korps of Krieg army has so much indirect fire and shit like that, that depending on what the table looked like, I could hide just tons of mortars and artillery all over the damn place and just be like, all right, he would start out and he would launch missile launchers at Kriegsmen, who hopefully are in cover somewhere. And then on my turn, I would just start dropping templates all over him, you know, and be all like, okay, I mean, yeah, you got 2+ saving throw, but, you know, make 10 of them. You know what I mean? Because I just dropped a, a basilisk cannon on you. So, yeah, you still get your save, make 10. Yeah, Demolisher cannon would be even better because I believe it had an AP of 2 or whatever. So he'd have to take his 5+ shield save against that, but I don't have any of those in that army. And any army I tried to build with Demolishers, like I said, is like he almost always won initiative because Space Marine. And turn 1, it's like 40 missile launchers at your Demolisher tank, you know? It's like, damn it. That was when they had switched over from the more abstract line of sight to true line of sight. God, I hated that. Because, you know, the guy could get down with his little laser pointer and be like, oh, I see like literally the size of a dime of the back left corner of your Land Raider so I can shoot it. It's like, oh my God. Games Workshop, why did you get rid of area terrain? You know? And it's like we had all those buildings at the comic shop that they put on the table, and it's just like, I'm in this building. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can see your freaking sergeant's banner, so I'm still shooting. I mean, you get a save, but who cares, right? So fucking lame. One good thing about this game is it does use area terrain. So it also uses alternative activations. So you don't have to sit there for like an hour while your opponent literally just destroys your whole army before you've even got to take a turn. Orcs and New Chaos Army, yeah. Yeah, in 4th edition, the thing people really hated and the thing they ended up getting rid of in 5th edition was the fact that if you disembarked from a Rhino and you were within charge range of an enemy unit, you could charge instead of shooting. So that was the era of the Rhino Rush. So everybody would have all their Marines, assault Marines without jump packs. So you save 10 points. And they're all mounted in Rhinos. And it's like on their first turn, they just charge, disembark, charge, you know. And if they played their cards right, that would be it. They, you know, you got a bunch of assault Marines in your lines, turn one. So it's like, oh, this is wonderful. I love this, you know. Super fun. Well, fun for them though. And, you know, sometimes, like me playing the lawyer with his shitty Terminator army, I mean, sometimes you take one for the team, you know what I mean? Did I want to play that army? No. Did I think any army I had could beat it? No. But, you know, he'd driven all the way up to the comic shop looking for game, and if it had to be me, then it had to be me, you know. It had to be you. It had to be you. Nobody else could give me the thrill that you do. Right.
It seems like there should, I mean, I know that she would need to have like a regular nurse, but like even if the nurse did
That's why it's incredible. Actually, for some reason, I drifted to the very beginning of Watchmen when Ozymandias kicks the freaking door in and beats the comedian to death and chucks him out a window. Not my favorite, I have to say, you know, as a fan of the comedian. Oh yeah, Bear called me out on that one too. Like, who says he was working for the government? And I looked it up and it was like, well, Night Owl and Silk Spectre said it. You know, he was working for the CIA, toppling communist regimes in South America, but he was also watching the Watchmen. That was the thing he was doing. He was watching them. And that's when he found out that Ozymandias was giving everybody cancer. Which is why Ozymandias came to his house and killed him. Right? But before that could happen, he had already went and confessed everything to his arch nemesis, Moloch, who was dying of cancer. And it turns out the cancer Moloch was dying of had been caused by freaking Ozymandias. Anyway, I'm going to take off. It's been almost 4 hours. That's good for our Monday night show. OGG, thanks for hanging out. But if you're still going to listen to things, you may as well go and listen to Bear or Shadow. Do whatever that they're doing. I may. And we will chat at another time, my Canadian brother. We mentioned you earlier. We're like, if America ever did invade Canada, the only person they wouldn't find would be OGG. And then like 100 years in the future, someone would be hiking through the deep forest and come upon like an archaeological find and be like, what the hell is all this? You know? And it's like, so there was a Canadian hiding out in the deep forest that no one ever found, but it was a thing. Because I like to aggravate Bear when Bear talks about America could never conquer Canada because we'd run and hide in the woods. And I'm all like, with all the love in the world to all the Canadians, right? The United States has entire divisions of troops that do nothing but train in the Arctic. That's all they do. I know because, you know, I was near the base in Alaska. So civilians hiding out in the Canadian brush, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. And are Canadians tough asses? Absolutely. But are there going to be special forces and rangers and all that shit hunting them? Yes. So, I mean, that's up to whoever to figure out who's going to win that one. But it wouldn't be a simple matter of, oh, we're just going to hang out in the woods. No. I mean, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, but I mean, I don't really care because, like I said, I know we'll never that'll never happen anyway. I know some of the people who watch my channel get really like, America, F yeah, about it. But I'm like, I have two thoughts on it. One, it's not worth talking about because it's never going to happen. And two, even if it is true that we could conquer some other country, why do you got to rub it in on somebody, you know? Like, everyone wants to be proud of their nation. So showing up and like slapping your dick on the table and being all like, you know, or in the mashed potatoes and being all like, you guys suck. That's just lame. It's just lame. And there's no reason to be that way, you know, just whatever. But yeah, go watch Bear. He's probably a lot more interesting than I am right now painting these things with red ink anyway. So, and peace and love to all of you guys. And I can't wait to see what the next meme of me is going to be.